Hello. Can you hear me? Is my mic being weird? Is that clear?
Super clear.
We can hear
The
you
la-
loud and clear.
The last two times there have been some. I have to like, if I talk while I'm moving the background music down, is when.
Yeah, it's like when you start talking like right away, then there's some weird
Yep.
going on there.
So
I thought you were just messing with us all those times.
Yeah. No, it was.
Hear me?
So you are. Yeah.
I don't like this anymore.
I don't like it.
I don't like
It's
it.
so bad.
We were talking backstage, and Johnny told us a very funny story about a date that went wrong, and I'm curious
Delightful.
what the worst date you've been on is.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, so does it count as being on a date if I went on the date but was alone the whole time?
Like you got stood up?
That sounds like a
Yeah.
pretty bad date,
That's a
Steve.
date story.
Okay.
Tell
It's a
it.
pretty bad date.
There was a girl that I had a crush on in early high school, sophomore year, and I learned a song on the guitar for her, and I learned what her favorite pizza was, and I picked up a small pizza, and I had everything ready, and I was going to go for a walk nearby with her and then do like pizza and sing the song. And at least she could have been totally accurate. It could have been not something mean or whatever, but just like, you know, it's still that age where it's like, hey, my parents said, no, I can't go out.
Yeah. Sorry.
And like, you know, anyone could say that. Who knows if it was true or not, but I was super bummed just like walking around with my guitar and a pizza. And
But hey,
sad day.
Yeah.
You got a pizza out of it.
I did get a pizza. Yeah. It's funny to say I got a pizza out of it when like I just literally went and bought a pizza. So, but
You
yeah,
have to share pizza with anyone.
it's true. I had more pizza than I would have.
Yeah.
Had she shown up for the date. But that was probably the worst date ever. Yeah.
That's fair. That's pretty fair. What was your? I was gonna ask what your best date was, but I still want to hear more about worst dates. I don't want to.
Yeah, worst dates first. Come on.
Yeah. That's a great question. I think the worst date I ever went on was weird. It wasn't like a particularly terrible date. It was just an overall awkward situation.
Yeah.
I was friends with this girl and decided to ask her on like a date, and we went on a date, and we were on the date. I felt like I was talking a ton. I was like asking questions. I wasn't like intentionally monopolizing the conversation or anything like that, but I just didn't feel like I was getting a lot back from her. I felt like the conversation, despite my best efforts, was pretty one-sided anyway. It just didn't feel like we were vibing. And then we ended the day, we said goodbye, went on our separate ways, and then I we were texting for a while, and then I was just like really upfront and was like, hey, like long story short, I don't think there's gonna be a second date. I'm not feeling it. And like she kind of made it sound like she was on the exact same page, and I found out later that she was like, after what I thought was a terrible date, was telling all of her friends like, oh, like I think he might be the one, like this was so great, like all of this stuff. And I was like, oh, that's weird.
Next level disconnect. Huh?
Yeah, super So I mean, it's a good thing there wasn't a second.
Best date of my life.
We were super not on the same page, so that would not have changed probably. But not a particularly like great bad date story. I don't think I have a lot of those, but that was the worst date I ever went on.
Maybe it's good that they happened because you found out that y'all just aren't meshing.
Yeah, and like a couple weeks later, I started dating my now wife. So
then there you go.
There you go.
Blah-blam. Ooh, actually, worse than the date that I just described was having to break up with somebody at the winter formal, or just after the winter formal, while I was being hosted at their house. So I would like spend the night it was like a sleepover
Mhm.
I would have to spend the night, wake up the next morning, like hang with her parents, do breakfast or whatever, like go to a 1-day event and then go home.
So you
But
broke and you're the one who did the breaking up.
I did.
Can I ask a question? Like, just a
Why?
question.
Totally.
Why
Fire away.
didn't you wait?
I was a bit tortured by the idea of basically any scenario felt totally screwed to me. I was like, it might be worse if I do this before we do this camp reunion event, because this was a camp friend who became a girlfriend. Like it might be better to break up so that she can then have immediate access to support from some of her best friends, for this, day long or day and a half long camp event thing.
Sure.
But I didn't feel like there was any right answer, like faking it through for 3 days when I already knew like I needed to end the relationship. I don't know.
Yikes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't done a lot of dating. So I think the small handful of dates I've been on, I wouldn't say I've gone too poorly. I mean, there've been like awkward situations. Like I've spat food in a date's face on accident once.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
But then that ended up being one of my longest relationships I was in. So,
There you go. They were like, that's when they knew he is the one.
yeah, there you go. There you go.
They went home and told all their friends, and they're like, finally, someone who spits
Spat
food in my face.
I loved it. No.
Delightful. And you, Justin?
I just thought of a way worse date story, but I don't. But I don't want to take more time.
That's okay. We'll put that behind the paywall.
Yeah.
Patrons only.
There you go. I think the one that comes to mind is very similar to Johnny's. A little similar. Where I asked someone out in college. We went to Panera, and it felt like just an okay date. But I think it was very clear after that it wasn't going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
And just like literally stopped talking to this person, but we still had a lot of friends in similar circles, so we would have to see each other. That was a little awkward, but I haven't done a ton of dating either.
It's scary.
So maybe that's my New Year's resolution. Next year I'm gonna come with an even worse. I'm gonna intentionally have bad dates so I can have a better.
Honestly, that sounds kind of fun.
Story.
Go and live the type of life that gives us lots of material, Justin. Come on.
Okay. Let me just monetize my life, commercialize it for this podcast.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Everything is content.
Yes. But if everything's content, nothing is content.
I don't think that one really works.
Yeah, it
Sounds
does.
like the Assassin's Creed.
All right. Well, I think we should probably play Scum and Villainy. You guys kind of have like a date with Barrick Soul.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like the first
segue.
date.
He's not interested, but he'll go.
Yeah.
Might be a good story later. We should probably address the elephant in the room.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Or lack thereof.
The lack of
Not to call it an elephant.
Danny.
rude, Danny.
How could you?
Very, very rude.
I'm so
Nick texted us like an hour or two ago and said, I'm super sick and I won't be there. It's just the fall. People are just getting sick.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah.
kind of what happens. I know Monroe is sick for Avatar. I'm still at the tail end of being sick. Nick's sick. So one of these three will probably be sick next week, except for Steve, because he's in Spain and they have
What's fall?
socialized medicine and not fall. So
Just kidding. We sort of have fall, not really.
Just kidding, not really. It was a
but
joke,
yes.
but it's true.
Nick is just sick, which will be interesting because Gears is really important to this next job that we're going on.
we're killing them all.
I'm going to kill him. Yep.
You could. Last week on the Professionals, crew fled from Saloxa, which is the seat of military power and hegemony, at the cost of losing their friend Praxis Thorn. Now, reeling with what to do next, Grave puts on the raiment of night and connects to the echoes of the Romden people. Meanwhile, the crew decides to steal their hyperdrive back and lands on the planet Aurea, the seat of scientific progress in the hegemony. There, they meet a charming new ally in Barrick's Soul, who agrees to help them steal the hyperdrive back. And it is after a night of raucous drinking and fighting that we pick back up with our crew. Perhaps on Dusty?
The very same.
So, this is your ship.
Yeah.
It is now. Yeah, it wasn't our first ship.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, I expected it to be nicer.
It's not our ship.
Okay.
In an uncharacteristic moment, Graves leans in towards Barrick, and it's not quite a whisper. I don't know that he's much of a whisperer. I never thought about that.
Maybe he
Graves
thinks it's
just
whispered.
says, Gears is sad about the previous ship.
Right. In that case, this one is it's quite nice, and we should talk about whatever we're gonna do next, eh?
Sounds like a
Sounds
good plan,
good.
isn't he?
Someone mentioned something about a hyperdrive.
Yeah, it's the hyperdrive from the last ship we were just talking about. Actually, it looks like gears and I should see it a little bit. Yeah, we're sealing it back, if you will. I believe.
Right. So you know where it is.
We should probably find out where it is.
I think we've narrowed it down to a planet.
Probably Aurea.
Aren't we on that planet now?
Yep. Are we like what? Are we like landed on it, or are we just like?
Yeah,
been
that's
on
where we
Yeah.
met.
Oh, nice, perfect. Yep, this planet.
Justin, we don't have anything more specific than that, do we? Did we have like a read on anything?
Nope.
Huh.
Hegemony law enforcement. What took it?
That is the
forgot
last
the
you
name of
know
the
of it.
faction.
There isn't technically a faction for it. So.
Okay, just law enforcement.
Yeah.
They repoed it basically.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. But they definitely
Okay.
brought it here.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like it's just begging to be a gather information role.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, I guess I don't think Havoc's or me personally, I don't think I've ever rolled a gather information role.
Whoa.
I mean, well, first you got to tell me like what you do to gather information.
Yeah, I think Havoc will just start. He's inserted himself in conversations at bars before to do a variety of different things such as lower wanted levels or talk big about the people. It's something that he does. And so I think this time he's going to use it just to sort of the classic go to the bartender. If you're looking for hot jobs, go to the bartender.
Of course.
So he's he's gonna go and just start asking about say property of mine where to get acquired for one reason or another by law enforcement officials. Where do you think that go here specifically on Aurea?
Why don't you consort? That sounds accurate.
Consort.
We're probably looking. Oh, I mean, I shouldn't tell you what to do.
I was gonna go for consort. It's the only resolve action that I have pips in. I have one pip in it.
Okay.
So I was just gonna.
Nice.
Yeah. It feels appropriate.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say. I think it's controlled.
Okay.
But I think the effect is limited.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll trade down to risky standard.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I have anything that can really apply to this. I think I'm just gonna roll. I got a 5.
Nice.
Okay. Consequence.
Consequence.
I guess I should have asked for a devil's bargain.
You could have asked for Devil's Bargain.
My role in this party, I'm the one who asked for devil's bargains.
Okay. Oh man.
I mean, if you want any suggestions, I mean, like talking about something like this in a public place might be risky, depending on who might be listening. You know, that's something that I'm thinking of.
Especially
Yeah,
if you
that's
have to
fair.
get into any specifics about the type of thing you're looking
What
for.
it is. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
I think then I guess what I'm just trying to decide how much I want to zoom into this moment and how much I want to keep it like
Mhm. Behind the
surface
curtain.
level. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What do you thinking, Danny?
Like about the consequence specifically.
No. Do you want to take some time and zoom into this moment?
Maybe it could be fun
All right.
for the
let's do it.
audience.
Yeah, let's do it. You are at a bar here on Aurea. It's a bar. There's a lot of them around where like clearly tired and beleaguered scientists and nerd looking types are kicking back after a long day of experiments.
I hate nerd bars. Ugh.
Of course. There's like
Ugh.
fucking 700 board games
Ugh.
somewhere in there, like all playing them. There's like trivia in a fucking corner.
Oh, I
That
hate
was so
board
bad.
Hey,
What is the scientific symbol for gold? And then everyone's it's the worst.
Heaven feels instant pain in his entire body.
No, it's not quite that nerdy, but they are sort of relaxing. And the part you ask, like, where would it get like taken? Bartender's like, I don't fucking know. Just a bunch of eggheads on this planet.
I mean, I guess do you know of any place like where say law enforcement officials might take, say, ship parts or components, maybe even entire ships, somewhere, maybe like a yard or something. I don't know.
I mean, they're not really doing that sort of. They're not putting stuff in jail or anything here. Why would it be? You're sure it's here? If it's here, then it's got to have some sort of scientific mumbo jumbo.
Yes. I mean, it's for someone specifically looking for something a little more. Let's just say it was a component of a ship that was a prototype. Yeah, it could have some interest in people, who of the more like scientific background, he says, looking around at people around him.
Thousands of companies and colleges here. What was it?
It was a hyperdrive for a ship, he says in a little more of a hushed tone, as much as he tries to be. It was I don't know much about it, but I think it was a little more, not regulated, a little more risky, if you will.
Yeah, well then, probably want to go to the Ascended Academy. They have a warp drive department there. Maybe they would know.
Thank you so much, Sam. That entire time he was just downing
Drinking.
beers.
In between every
He
phrase.
lets out a huge burp. The Ascendant Academy, he said?
Yes, the Ascendant Academy.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just hold, not hold, but I think the consequence is that it was reduced to basically no effect. In other words, the bartender really didn't give you much of anything.
Okay.
Right. You have to find another way.
Yeah. But I mean, we have the Ascent Academy was nice.
You have a new lead, but that's about it.
Yes. Now we just need to figure out where it is. I think I think Havoc will regroup with Carlton, Kears, and Barrick. And
Yeah.
tell them
So-
this.
To jog my memory, did we at some point when we first got this ship, Dusty, we used it to sort of figure out what they were tracking previously, right? And that was partly what helped us find, I forget if it was Praxis or something else.
You used it to find where Praxis was going.
Yeah.
That he was going to go to the core worlds.
So I wonder how unlikely it would be to be able to leverage anything particular to the ship or ship's records regarding our crew as far as the hyperdrive is concerned. It's probably only utilized for that initial mission where we happened upon it.
Yeah.
Just like another transport ship full of muscle.
I mean, I won't say you can't try it, but I'm saying
Dubious.
yeah.
Yes. Hey guys, I'm not used to being the brains of the group. I'm used to thinking for a Romden, and it's not Zelrek. We're not talking scientist Romden.
I mean, I don't know if this would be maybe, I don't know if we can do multiple gather information roles, but
Of course.
like Barrick has spent time here. Would he have some idea of where
Sure.
these types of experimental things would be taken?
Sure. You can certainly try. What do you do?
I rack my brain. Oh,
You just see
Barrick
Barrick
standing
What about a criminal element? Is Barrick the sort to have any connections who would be able to know if there's any word about certain types
not
of things
necessarily
going around?
those kinds of connections.
Sure.
Okay.
Who is your friend?
A moneylender.
Okay.
I can't think of any logical reason a moneylender would specifically know where an experimental hyperdrive was taken.
Sure.
Sheer dumb luck.
Then it doesn't quite sound like an action. It just sounds like a fortune roll to me.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to ask, like what you do, and you're like, I just think really hard. I don't think it's an action. Fortune roll.
Search within yourself.
Consort with my own brain.
Consort with my brain. No, not quite, unfortunately.
I love how the scoundrels' connections are quote unquote friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we want to do this off of?
Well, our lead's something called the Ascended Academy.
Yeah, but Barrick's just trying to think about it. I'm gonna just roll one dice.
Okay.
One dice. The best you can think of is that Helix Tech is one of the biggest scientific companies here on Araya. So if they don't have it, maybe they know who has it.
Okay. Would I know potentially where maybe some of their security or people who work there would like frequent like a bar or something like that,
Sure.
then I head there.
Okay.
And I see if I can like spot any like badges from people who work there.
You see some.
I get a couple of drinks and I go and I sit down with them.
Sorry, we don't know you.
I was hoping to make some new friends. Name's Barrack Soul.
I think we need an action to ingratiate yourself with them.
Let's start with Sway.
That sounds fair.
I've got to
let's
try that
say
sometime in real life.
risky standard.
All right. I got a 5 for my high die.
Okay. My GM complication brain is just not working today. I don't know what is going on.
Pull out guns and they shoot them.
Yeah,
There's something about Nick's face that just inspires complications.
it just inspires.
Something about being an elephant. I don't know what it is.
Oh
but
my god!
It's just got a face for complications. No,
it's got an elephant face full of complications.
I think that they're like, all right, you can put the drink down, as long as you keep them going. You can sit here. So the complication is that you've got to spend a cred
Okay. I'm
to
down for that.
keep the drinks flowing.
Indubitably. Do any of you fancy yourselves betting men?
Yeah, I like betting.
Yeah. What do you say to a friendly game of dice? And I pull my dice cup out and set it on the.
Depends on what the wager is.
How about this? You tell me what you would want me to put up. Anything of your choice. What I want you to put up is a simple piece of information.
Are you wearing any? You're wearing like very fancy clothes, right?
Not stylish, but not fancy.
Stylish, but not fancy. What's the most expensive looking thing you're wearing?
That's a good question. Probably some sort of like this world's equivalent to like an Apple Watch sort of thing, just like a nice fancy communicator.
How about that watch?
Deal.
Okay. What do we do?
You want to play a game of liar's dice or high lows?
What about low high?
We could play low high. That's what you want. You want low or you want high?
I'll take low.
All right. And so this is a game where we roll the dice. There's 6 dice in the cup. If the majority of the dice are lower, 3 or lower, they win. If the majority are 3 or 4 or higher, I win.
Sure.
So
you are rigging this game.
I am rigging this game.
Okay, I will need a roll for that.
Yeah. I will skulk.
That's fair. I think it's risky, and I'll say standard.
All right.
Standard. You'll rig it and get away with it.
Cool. I will push myself to get an extra dice.
Okay.
Let me hear a devil's bargain too.
The devil's bargain. The devil's bargain is that they will remember your face.
I will take it.
Okay.
Okay. Double 6.
Nice.
Glad I took it because the 6 was on one of the 6s was on the extra dice I picked up.
Johnny Button, everyone.
Alrighty.
New luck for Barrack Soul. New luck.
Does that
New luck.
will that earn us a gambit for the upcoming job, or does this not count? For
I will say yes.
Cool.
I will say thank you.
Yeah, thank you indeed.
It's not
added
clear.
It, so nobody else added it.
It's not clear what to do in free play.
It's like
how
Jet's
if
death.
that generates. But
Yeah.
I think it's fun because I think it's all a build up to the job. So I'm
Mhm.
fine with it. Yeah, he calls his number low, and you shake it.
Yeah, I make
Flip
sure
them.
2 of the dice still show low, so it doesn't look like I fully rigged the whole thing.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna subsume like depending on how you rolled, like if they caught you cheating or not. But with a 6, I think you're fine. You get
Cool.
you get through. So yeah. He's like, oh man, all right. Okay, what do you want to know?
I heard that an experimental hyperdrive made its way on world in the last couple of weeks, and I thought maybe somebody working where you work would know about it.
I mean, maybe. I mean, we're doing a lot of there's a lot of security right now for the annual technology expo. So I don't know if I've specifically seen hyperdrive, and one of them goes, no, I saw it. It's there. It's at the expo. It's going to be at the expo tomorrow.
At the expo tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, you happen to have a booth number or anything like that? I really want to check this thing out.
And the guy that says like, oh no, you're not going to be able. It's in the vault. You're not going to be. It's just in like a hermetically sealed glass tube inside of the expo hall that people can look at, but no one can access. It's in sight at all times. Gotcha.
All right. Well, I hope to see you gentlemen at the expo.
Yeah, okay, sure. Are you able to get in? It's invite only.
I'll find a way. Well, yeah, I'll find a way.
Oh,
Run them into debt so hard that they have to invite you, Johnny.
Yeah. How about another round?
I think now the limited aspect of ingratiating yourselves to them comes up. They're like, sorry, we gotta head out.
All right, fair enough. All right, I did what I could. I head back to the ship. I shared the information.
I have an idea as well that I know we're gathering a lot of info here if I overdo it, but I kind of feel like it's fun to triangulate a little bit. I wonder if, since Gears has 3 pips in study, if it would be okay to suggest that he do this. This sounds like something he would do rather than Graves. But I wonder if he would be able to try to search any sort of publicly available info at like whether it's a library or a kiosk equivalent or some sort of thing, or even if it's just accessible through internet, whatever device, to figure out any names of researchers associated with the development of this drive.
Yes, you can certainly do that. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yep. Should I roll for Nick then?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's say this is a gather information roll. What action do you think Gears is using?
For sure, study.
Okay, so it's more like research and less like hacking into anything.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
I don't know how top secret this experimental tech of various kinds is. So if that ends up being a barrier, I could pivot to a hack. But
no, but I mean that. You tell me what action, because that determines the information I give you. That determines like what is going to be available. I think if you're looking at study, you might get some information. So I would say it's probably
more
closer.
Promising. Yeah.
It depends on what you want to know. If you want to know who is tied to making this project, I don't know if study is going to do it for you.
You're right. That's probably something that would be more of an internal documentation issue.
Yeah.
Let's hack.
If you're trying to find more about this expo, who's going to be there, big names that are going to be there, that might be a study.
I want the names, specifically the folks on this project, and then if we happen to see those names show up at the expo, then we'll be able to fake more things.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get access to anything like an internal doc.
Okay.
From where would I would have to sort of dig through what I imagine is like a dark web equivalent. It might link to any of these entities, companies, the Ascended Academy or whatever, whoever's really, funding the project for developing this drive. So hack, what do you think? position
hack.
effect.
Yeah. Let's go controlled standard.
Ooh, controlled standard.
Controlled standard.
Yeah, I'll trade to risky.
Okay. Risky and great. I would love to know, and I should start doing this more often. What are you doing that makes it risky? Because we can't just say you're trading. You got to say like
that's great. Yeah.
What in fiction makes it risky now?
This is a hack roll, right?
Yeah.
Maybe using unencrypted packets.
What does that mean? I'm an idiot, so
You're identifiable.
It's like regular
your
packets, but they're
Steve.
unencrypted.
They're unencrypted.
what kind of packets you guys got?
I've got the encrypted.
I've got sugar packets, salt packets.
Yeah, you can get those
Maybe a
encrypted
soy sauce
too.
packet. Oh, okay.
So it's just
Yeah.
a packet.
Is this
And
like
then
one of them NFT things?
You don't know what's in the packet. It's like a gachapon in Japan. They're like little packets. You don't know what's inside of them until you open them.
I love it.
No, but the risky element with that would be like someone might be able to follow your footsteps and like
Yeah.
trace.
That sounds like something that makes me more risky, but without making it evident, like why I would do that. Is there something I'm
Yeah,
missing
so-
about that? Like
so I
to
mean,
me, I would think
sometimes-
of
some
What is
places,
the great effect?
like
Mhm.
some websites in our world like won't allow certain types of encryption through. Like it would recognize the coding would
Huh.
recognize, hey, like this person's using this type of encryption.
Sure.
We're not gonna encode for that, and so
Sure.
like the website would just come up as essentially a 404.
I like that. You find a website and you're pretty sure there's information past it, but in order to get it, you have to go in unencrypted.
oh, that's kind of fun. I'm learning about the interwebs. Yeah. I'll take Johnny's idea. I think that's cool.
Great. So risky and great.
Yeah. Let's see, rig or hack, or when you do study a schematic, fill one segment, that's tinker. No, just checking to see if we're missing any benefits from Hallelujah Lou Ganymede, whoever that is.
Who the heck?
I don't think I'm leaving any value on the table here, and I feel comfortable with 3. So let's just do 3.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. It's a 3.
Oh.
Oh.
All I wanted was research. Research can be dangerous,
Oh.
kids.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay. You're welcome, Nick. When you come back, you'll have more issues to deal with.
Okay.
All right. So, no result then, as far as the positive side.
Yes, I will say you. There's like a moment you like hop onto this site, this document, and as you start scanning it, it locks you out and ejects you.
Nice. Well, that's that. So we regroup.
Yeah.
What's the plan?
We all went and did our little things.
Yeah.
Graves is just waiting on the ship, bored, eating metal.
What's
Are
the
you
plan?
done digging around?
So there's an expo. If we can get into the expo, we might be able to get the hyperdrive.
Expo of what?
Things like the hyperdrive. I don't know. It's an exposition of progress.
So it's gonna be like what lots of landed individuals with like experimental tech, something like that.
We have some experimental tech.
It's like
And
CES.
Graves gestures at the other Romden's quarters, where that Romden is
Like-
wearing incredibly new tech on his
Oh, right.
as an arm.
Yeah.
That might be a little
Too cutting edge.
experimental. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
This is complicated.
What if we don't go to the expo? We just sneak in. It's invite only. We don't have invites. So we sneak in the cover of darkness. Steal what we
like
can. Leave what we have to.
I like that personally because I feel like we've gone undercover so many times, and honestly, I'm so tired of it.
I stick out, Barrick. I don't know if you knew that, but
That's why we'd be going in the cover of darkness instead of trying to go in the daylight. While the expo is open to the public, we go in while it's closed.
right.
So it doesn't really matter if you stick out because we're all not supposed to be there anyway.
Good plan.
Okay. So the plan is to sneak in at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like
All
an
right.
infiltration.
Sounds like we're choosing a job.
Yeah.
I think we are.
So let's. Okay, the planet rule on Araya is not important. Make sure to mark stress equal to your trauma if you did not indulge a vice during downtime.
I think I didn't.
Your vice, Havoc, would have been
I thought that you and Nick both indulged your vice.
both gambled.
Both gambling with me. But maybe he didn't do an indulge your vice roll, though.
I didn't know. I already used both of my downtime activities.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I will just mark 2 stress.
Yeah, you were taken out though.
Yeah, he was taking
Oh,
it as
Yeah.
I already marked
didn't
the
have
2
any
stress. I already
stress.
marked the 2 stress from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
had 2 stress marked. Mhm.
Yeah, I think to make things clean going forward, while I might let you like narratively wake up, I think if you get taken out, you also lose those downtime actions. I don't think you should be able to get the downtime actions and also
Oh, okay, yeah.
not have to indulge your vice for the next job. Does that make sense?
No.
hmm
So
When do I have to indulge it?
you have to indulge your vice every downtime.
You don't have
If
to. You don't have to. But if you don't, you take stress equal to your marked trauma.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. If you don't,
Mhm.
then you have to mark stress equal to how many trauma you have.
Mhm.
It's very like narratively up in the air on whether or not like being taken out of a job.
Yeah.
If you're out until the next job, so that would mean you would skip downtime, right?
Hmm.
Or
I mean, I feel like
you
it
gotta wake
also
up,
depends.
get your downtime actions, because then otherwise you're gonna overindulge. You're almost always gonna overindulge if
Yeah.
you have to indulge your vice. And
Well, I mean, they could take the stress like Danny did. And so
Yeah.
there's a consequence either way.
I
Sure.
took more stress than I would have if I wouldn't have been taken out. And I mean, at that point, the point I'm in right now, yeah, it's like, yeah, of course I'm going to
Okay.
take 2 stress
All right.
instead of
Sure.
overindulging, you know?
Sure. Okay. All right. That makes sense. All right. So then, yes, if you didn't indulge your vice, then you need to mark stress equal to how many
Mhm.
trauma you have.
I'm just not clear on what I should have done because I had entertained the idea of indulging my vice, but then ended up doing it only in a narrative fashion, even though I did have a downtime action available.
Because you would have taken yourself out by overindulging because you had been taken out via stress. And so you would have had 0 stress. And so by doing your downtime action of indulging your vice, you would have overindulged and automatically taken yourself out.
Well, no, overindulging
the-
doesn't take yourself out. It,
It takes you out for the next
No, it
thing,
doesn't.
doesn't it?
It can. That
Oh,
is
it's
one
only
of
if you
the
choose
three
to
on the
options.
wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is one of the 3 options. I think
Let's
then
see.
in that case, yes. So then, yeah, you have to choose to either overindulge or mark stress.
All right, so I do have to mark stress as well.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And the stress equal to?
Your trauma. How many traumas you have?
That's not good. All right. Hey, everybody. Here's 3 stress. Off to a good start.
Okay.
I
And,
stressed myself out before the job too, so we're all starting with some stress. It's okay.
Look
There
at
we go.
us.
that's the game. It sounds like
is.
you're doing infiltration.
Yeah.
What is the point of the detail I need is the point of infiltration.
The back door.
There we go.
Coming
There
I mean,
we
give me a
go.
little something, Justin. What does this building look like? This expo
Yeah.
Yeah,
center.
it's a ginormous, like just built for this expo building, futuristic, high tech. There's like the lobby way opens up into this like giant glass room, and then there are like multiple floors in like asymmetrically distance throughout this giant room. So like you can go up an escalator to like floor 2 that's on like the left side, but then the escalator goes up to like the 3rd floor on like the right side of this building. So it's like a split level essentially building.
Yeah.
In the middle there's like a giant hermetically sealed glass tube that goes up all the way through all the floors.
So seemingly something to transport items.
No, that is
No, it's a
no,
display case for
it's
the
a display case.
experimental hyperdrive.
Oh, a display case that runs through all the floors.
Mhm.
But is not for moving things within it. A giant
Nope.
tube that connects everything in the building. That
There's
is not
levels
for
in each
moving
of-
things. I
There's
see.
levels in each of the tubes.
Okay. You are a weird designer, my friend. If I
It's
understand what you're doing.
It's for safety.
It's for safety.
Safety,
It's a
buddy.
security thing.
This 3-story
Yeah.
glass tube for safety.
Security bomb here, everybody. We need a 3-story hermetically sealed glass tube with
Hey,
separation.
there's science, it's
Not-
not architects, okay?
It's
I don't think this building is structurally sound. We need a 3-story.
We're gonna run
Yeah,
away. I love it. I love it. Hey, it's all the fiction, baby.
it's
Um,
not just open. It's like
Yeah.
No, it's hermetically sealed.
yeah, but I'm saying like there's like on each level there's like something different on each level. So like all the
Inside
levels
the
touch
tube. Yeah.
this tube, but then like in the tube, if you were to go into it, like it is also just that floor. You know what I mean? Like there's
okay.
a roof in the tube
Yeah.
to the next floor. So
So it's kind of cool, just like a aesthetic design choice that the tube
Yes.
goes all the way to the ceiling on each
yes,
floor.
yes, exactly. Yes.
I'm vibing. I'm vibing.
I think it's cool.
I've been to this
I
mall.
thought
I've been to that mall.
it
Yeah.
seemed cool
It's
in
West
my head.
Farms.
I think
It's just freaking West Farms.
It seemed cool in my head.
Then we each lined up and took a turn shitting right on it.
Oh boy. So there's a lot. It sounds like there's a lot of glass, a lot of openness,
Yes.
even for like sort of the exterior of the design to make the building look
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Based on what you've given me, I guess I'm wondering, since you described it, the construction is fresh. Is there
Yep.
still any element of a construction site being packed up, stuff being put away, anything like that? Because wherever that is would likely be near the place they've just finished work.
The expo is tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That'd be interesting.
Looks like the building
Oh.
itself is a prototype. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Moral fortune die.
fortune favor us.
Throw in fortune dice from a glass expo center.
I rolled a 6 and a 5. There is the we'll say the southwestern corner of this building, which touches where the staff would come in essentially, or like that area isn't glass. It's like the staff section. There are some construction. Not all. It looks like they either finished a couple days ago and just haven't grabbed this equipment yet. But there's like a couple like pickaxes and maybe like a crane there.
Using it. I love that you gave me that. Yeah, I mean, like, I think Graves would suggest this area would be least conspicuous.
Okay.
All right. So the point of infiltration is
This area.
this
Construction
area.
site.
The
Southwest.
construction site. Yep,
Southwest
the
corner.
southwest
And if this is a useful detail, I'm considering using the crane.
You might. I mean,
Ooh.
I will leave up to you once we get into the job.
Depends on how. If we look, it seems like we have more quiet alternatives.
Is there a lot
why
of
don't-
leftover rebar?
Maybe. Yeah, there can be. Sure.
A snack for Graves.
There you go.
Thank you.
Tell me what your item loadouts are. Pick it for gears as well too. Just,
Mhm.
I think considering we're going at night, we don't need to worry about looking inconspicuous. I feel like
Gears is
having
heavy.
is normal. You think gears is heavy?
Yeah.
Being an elephant.
No, we need to be inconspicuous. So let's do
Being an
normal for
elephant.
gears as well.
Okay.
Well, that's a good question. Mechanically, are we less conspicuous even if it's theoretically at a time when no one should be looking at us? Like,
Technically, heavy always makes you more conspicuous.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also think about it in terms too of like not necessarily just being conspicuous, but like lugging all that gear around is going to make it
Mhm.
harder to get away.
We already got one big
There's
old gear to
certainly
lug
still-
around.
Even if it's a skeleton crew, there's certainly still going to be security here, especially with high value property in the. In,
100%. Yep.
okay.
The new
In
Star
that
Wars show.
case, I too will go with normal.
um,
Are we all laughing at the no.
yeah, I too will go with normal.
Did I just like Robo?
Yeah, it was very
I
funny.
too will go normal.
No.
Yep.
Normal.
I do.
As
will
I
go
said.
normal. I will also do normal.
Okay.
I
Okay.
feel such envy because I wanted to experience the parallel of that when Johnny said normal.
Havoc, you say you're going normal too?
I'm doing normal. I'm
You're
doing it.
normal. Come. Let's get this engagement roll going, I guess, then. A die for sheer luck. One die per major advantage. Let's see.
Barrick
Uh,
is very handsome.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Is the
Okay,
situation,
nice.
is the operation particularly bold or daring? Or is it overly complex or contingent on many factors? I
do think it's bold and daring.
do think I'll give you a die for bold and daring. Because you're trying to sneak in instead of just steal it out from everyone's nose when the expo is going on, which would have been
Mhm.
much more fun, but
I'm gonna make my next character's name Bolden Daring.
bold and daring.
Bold and daring.
Does the plan's detail expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
Do you think
I-
potentially Graves finding the construction site?
Yeah,
Plays
not
that?
even just that, but I feel like they would have guards during the expo. They might not have as many because they wouldn't think somebody would be as dumb to try and steal it in the middle of the night.
Yeah, obviously you
Nice.
don't know us.
Can
Our
any of your friends
stupidity is
contact?
boundless.
You haven't really had any friends or contacts that provided aid or
Well,
insight.
Hey, I have lots of friends. Okay.
Very popular.
I used to.
I do. Oh man, I do think there is a person that is interfering in the operation, though. So I'm gonna take a
Is
dive.
there?
It's an
Whom?
ancient. It's an ancient eldritch being that's just. He's actually the entire expo center.
It is
It's
a rival.
guys. This is Brindlewood Bay.
Well, you know what? Now that you're a knight, never mind. Let me take it back. I'll give you that die back.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Are there any other elements you want to consider? I do think you're probably still lower tier than hegemonic guards, even here on Araya. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna take a die away for that. But that leaves us with 2 die. Does someone want to roll it?
I'll roll it.
2 die.
Good, Johnny.
Ooh, yeah, baby. 6. 5 and a 6.
Okay. All right. You're in a controlled position when the action starts. I think what it is you are waiting till night and you make your way to this expo center, and you quickly catch at least the outside guards. You catch and clock their schedule.
Can I do one thing before we head out?
Sure.
Like to the expo center? As we're leaving, like on our way out, I want to I'm going to give a couple of cred to the person kind of working the landing bay where we are.
Okay.
And I'm gonna send you a private message, Justin, about what that 2 cred is for. But I just wanted to.
Okay.
But
He's flirting with the GM in
yeah,
order to get benefits.
no, it is we can continue. I just wanted to put that on the record as a
Sure.
thing before we.
Is this
leave.
something that needs a roll?
It might.
Now?
It
Okay.
might, but it wouldn't necessarily. I'll just say it out loud. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, I want to pay this guy to, while we are gone, paint Dusty gold and paint the name Golden Sun in big red letters on the side of it. And potentially, if they can, wipe the VIN, like clean the VIN.
Yeah, that is probably going to be something you're going to have to specifically find somebody for, and not just any old like ship technician is going to be able to do that.
Okay. The
But he can
painting and
definitely
stuff
paint
too?
it.
Okay.
The painting, no, the painting, no, the painting you can do. The scrubbing of the VIN feels a bit
Yeah.
more specific and
Okay.
criminally underworld that you might have to find somebody that can do that. But he can definitely paint it for sure.
Cool.
No rule needed.
Cool.
All right, so you are at the expo center. You were quiet enough on your entry that you were able to clock at least the outside guards' perimeter and schedules. You still have to sneak past them, but you're in a controlled position because you're able. You already clocked on where they are and how to get past them. What do you do? I'd say you can see that there's more guards inside. You can also see occasionally drones going by the windows as well too, inside. And then there's maybe just like 4 or 5 walking a constant perimeter on the outside.
Is there a way? Are there any sort of like control panels outside where we are?
What do you intend for? What?
To get into the security system. Like, I'm assuming there's like security panels to be able to access, to be able to like put in the code and get in.
Sure.
And so I'm wondering if those have access to the rest of the system, if we're able to like hack in.
Sure. You do not see any security panels near you.
Okay.
We're just gonna have to sneak in.
You said there are guards patrolling outside?
Yep, about 4.
4? That's exactly as many uniforms as we would need.
All right. Alrighty then.
Do we think we could quietly take 4 guards out?
Oh, I think so.
We'd have to do it probably one at a time, while avoiding these drones.
Yeah, so it'd have to be like a coordinated,
Yeah, we'd have to part ways. Each of us go and
Pounce.
find a guard and pounce simultaneously.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Oof.
let's do it.
Sounds maybe
That
like
sounds-
a group roll.
That sounds really fun.
Like a what?
Like a group roll. Like a group roll.
It does sound like a group roll, yeah.
So you're all doing the
Cool.
same
I
thing.
would prefer to suggest handling it separately so that each of our attempts to take out a guard can be different skill mechanics.
That's a good thought. And
I like that.
hypothetically,
I
if
like
we're all
that.
separate and getting ready to infiltrate, one of us could just end up in a bad position.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's fun.
I'm
To
fine
play
with
to
that.
our strengths.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. Okay. Let's start with the new crew member. Let's start with Barrick.
Okay. Yeah, so
Nice job,
I
Oswald.
will, kind of make my way to. I'll spend a little bit of time observing the patrol path.
In fact, let's say this. Let's say that. So there are 2 that are walking constantly in a perimeter around this thing. There is 2 that are on top of the roof, the 3rd story, like looking down on either side of the roof.
Okay.
Those are the 4 that are like
Do
outside.
they have line of sight on each other? The 2 on the top?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So that has to be simultaneous for sure.
They line of sight on each other instead of
No,
watching the
they wouldn't
perimeter?
be able to have. No, they're looking outside.
No, they're in
not
love.
looking at each other.
And so they're not
they're-
supposed to be looking at each other.
Okay.
They are.
I will go for one of the ones on the roof then.
Okay.
I will wait for the ones patrolling to be out of sight and go on one of the corners of the building that's like in between the 2 on the roof.
Yep.
And climb up. And I will, let me see what I've got here. So I have one of my items as a scoundrel is a fine sidearm.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if there's any version of things where you would accept that fine might also mean quiet.
I guess the silenced pistol.
I'll tell you what.
Hua.
You can flashback.
Well, here's what I was going to say. I can do the flashback too, but I was going to ask if, because like I can technically have a pair of fine sidearms. So what if I just marked the second load spot from my second fine sidearm, but I just have the one silenced with two like one of the load is the silencer instead of a second gun.
I like the flashback because fine generally just means like the quality of it.
I understand what fine means.
I know. It doesn't necessarily describe any like modifications.
Okay.
Flush.
So I think that is a flashback.
Cool. In the past, I bought a silencer,
Yep. So
and now I've put it on this.
Get rid of a cred.
Cool.
And probably a stress.
A stress?
Yeah, flashback.
Flashbacks, yeah. Incur stress.
I'll never flash back again.
I mean, that's so like flashback is literally that is the point of you being like, I have this gun and actually it has a silencer. And be like, well,
Okay.
you never set that. You just
Well, I'm
So we
adding the
use
silencer to one
flashbacks.
of my open load slots forever.
for sure you can totally do
Heck
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And then I shoot the guy in the head with my silenced weapon.
Okay. I need an action for that then.
Okay. Probably scrap, right?
Sure. I like scrap. Well, I'm trying to decide, is getting up to the roof its own action?
Probably.
Yeah, let's start there then
Okay.
first.
Scramble for that.
Okay.
This is
It is controlled. And we'll say standard. You'll get up to the
Okay.
roof.
5.
Okay, so you start to climb up this. And you realize that there is a section of the ladder that's a little rickety and loose. And it starts to creak, like make a pretty big noise if you were to continue to climb up the roof. So on a 4 to 5, you hesitate, right? You withdraw and try a different approach, or else do it with a minor consequence. And I think in this case, you might end up in a bit of a riskier position, as they might be a little bit more aware.
I mean, I don't really know what else I could do, so I'm just gonna keep going.
Okay. All right. So you like quickly scramble up to the roof, and you like scramble past the like creak of the ladder, and one of the guards goes, "Hey, did you hear that? Take a walk around, see if you see anything." And one of them starts to like walk around with their weapon raised, walking around the roof.
Okay. Instead of climbing over the ledge, I will wait until he like gets over here.
Oh,
and then
okay.
shoot
Sure.
the guy.
Sure, I love that. I think I need.
So you're
another
pivoting,
act-
shooting a different guard.
Yeah. Well, whichever guard
Okay,
is
okay,
the one that's going to
is
be over
walking
near
towards.
me. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Why don't you give me an action then?
Okay. Scrap for this.
Yeah, this is risky now because they're a little bit more alert. I will say standard effect. It's going back and forth. I'll say risky standard.
Okay. Okay. Only a 4.
I mean, I think you do it, but there's a consequence. Oh, I know what it is. This guard comes up to you, and as he looks down, you fire your silenced pistol right up into his face, and the body topples past you and plummets to the ground.
I will resist that.
That's fair.
I'm going to expend my special armor to resist that.
Oh, what does your special armor let you do now?
So I have the Devil's Own Luck, and I may expend my special armor to resist the consequence of blaster fire, or to push myself and walk out of
Sure.
talk my way out of a running trouble.
Yeah, okay. I think this fits. Yeah, for sure. For sure. What do you do then to resist?
So as he's like starts to like lean over the edge, I will like grab him and try to like push the opposite way and lower him gently onto the floor, still on the roof.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So this guard looks like he's about to topple over, and you like put your hand up and stop him, and then climb up a little bit more to push him gently down onto the ground. But you are quiet. You were able to kill this guard without anybody noticing. Let's turn to let's see what Havoc is doing.
Okay, so we're taking turns doing this, but we're all kind of more or less doing this simultaneously, right?
Essentially, yes.
And so I think Havoc sort of maybe taking a little bit to like watch how Barrick's doing. Maybe he sees the whole like creak of the ladder thing happen. He's like, after that, I'm not using a ladder, because Havoc was going to try to go for the other guy on the roof.
Oh, okay.
So Havoc, under the pilot items, there's grappling hook, and so I think Havoc will try to use one of those to get up onto the roof.
Okay, sure.
Hopefully, it doesn't make sound.
I mean, yeah.
I think
probably an action to get up to the roof.
Yeah.
I
wanna say skulk. Skulk.
I like skulk. I think you're controlled, and I will say great effect.
Oh, cool. Okay. I'm just gonna do it then. Jesus Christ, are you kidding? That's a 2 though.
Oh no. Okay. Okay, so you throw the grappling hook up there and start to climb up, and you're like looking at your watch for like how you timed the patrol of the guards, and you realize that if you don't get up there right now, one of them is about to come around the corner, or you could pull a grappling hook back off and try something else.
All right, so like having to get up there right now would be the risky opportunity.
Correct.
And what would that do? Would that like incur another roll or?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna see this and just try to get up there faster. He's gonna sort of click his feet together into thrusters from his fine spacesuit. Will give him a little boost.
I love it. I love it.
Maybe it might make a little more noise, but he's thinking he's giving
Just
into
get
that
up there.
reckless part of him, and he's like, I start get up here right now.
Yep. What action do you think you're using?
I think scramble makes the most sense.
Scramble. Yeah. This is risky, and I will say standard effect. You will get up to the risky standard.
I'll trade down to desperate for great effect. And the reason for that is he's fully letting go of the rope, just using the full thrust of his suit to lift him up onto the roof.
Okay.
And instead of taking the XP, I'll take the additional dice from Daredevil die from Daredevil.
Yep.
So I'm rolling with 2. 2 6s, baby.
Wow.
2 6s, 2 dice, baby.
Amazing. So you go blasting. You time it just right where you like blast yourself just enough to give you that boost over the edge and then turn it off so that way you're not like loud when you land on the building. You just like softly skid and like quickly pull the grappling hook back up. And like I feel like if this was we would like the camera would go to like the guard walking around and like he looks up and like doesn't see anything hanging over the building. And keeps walking.
Yeah. We don't get a gambit with desperate critical zooming, right?
Nope, just risky.
Okay. Now I have to kill this guard. All right. I don't have a silenced sidearm. I have a grappling hook though.
You got a grappling hook.
You know, I also forgot to mark that. Also, I should mark find customized spacesuit because I've established that you've used that as well. So, you know, I've already marked it. Let's use the grappling hook. I'm just gonna go and one of the hooks. I'm just gonna try to impale it in his neck.
Oh, yikes! All right.
You thought I was gonna do the
yeah, I thought you were gonna.
No,
yeah.
Oh no, this is Havoc we're talking about.
Give me an action for that.
I think scrap just makes the most sense.
Yeah, it does. I think too.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a standard effect.
Okay.
Risky. We'll say
Risky.
Actually, let's say controlled. Controlled and
Controlled
risky.
standard? Controlled standard. I think I'm
Controlled standard, yeah.
controlled standard. I think that's I like that. I think I like that. I'm rolling 2 dice. Controlled standard. I think I'm just gonna let the dice fall where they may. It's a 5.
Yeah, okay. So then you're like sneaking up on this guard. And just as you're about to like swing it at him, he starts to turn around. But you've got like a moment to back up and get like behind something and he wouldn't see you. Or you could just hit him. But he's gonna be able to respond a little bit easier.
I think Havoc's already committed to the swing of the hook.
Okay. He spins around and goes, huh? And starts to fumble with his gun and starts to pull it out. What do you do?
Can I try to angle my attack so that the hook impales both his hand and his neck? Sort of like
You can try.
And sort of staking his hand onto his neck with the same hook.
Sure. Yeah, you can try. I'm gonna say that's risky.
Dear Lord.
Risky limited.
Risky limited. All right. I'll trade down to desperate. And I think it's just Havoc sees this and he just sort of sprints and goes into like almost a Superman punch, but with a hook instead. Just
I love it.
Try to take this guy out.
Okay.
And sorry, we never said action as scrap though. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So desperate standard.
Yeah. And instead of taking the XP, once again, I'll do Daredevil and take the
extra dice.
The extra dice. It's another 5.
Okay.
It's 5. Just complication after complication after complication.
That's how these games work. Yeah, I mean, I think you sprint and close the distance really quickly and just right into his arm, into his like neck, and he starts bleeding out, and he reaches with his other arm across his hip and pulls out his pistol and right in your belly.
All right, I'm just gonna. Can I resist that?
Sure.
I completely forgot resisting consequences was a mechanic, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
What do you do?
Just want to try not kicking, like slapping the gun out. Out
Sure.
of the sand.
No, that's perfect. I think that's speed then. So
speed?
Prowess. I'm saying like this is a speed related.
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Yep. So prowess probably.
Okay. Thank God, because I have 4 actions marked in prowess. There's a 6 there, so I'm good.
Okay, you're good. No stress.
Nice.
No stress, but just barely. You kick this gun out of its holster as this guy gurgles out,
and I'm
trying to
covering
grasp
his mouth.
Yep, trying to grasp at his hip now. And then his fighting stops, and he just.
I don't know if I can use this uniform now if it's covered in blood, but we'll see.
Frick. It's another consequence for another day.
Yeah.
When you look over Havoc, you see Barrick is at the other end of the roof, like stripped down to his underwear, taking the uniform off of the other guard, just like staring, like kind of just like.
Havoc gives a thumbs up and a wink that you probably can't see from this distance, but
Barrick gives a thumbs up back and then just keeps doing what he was doing.
I just imagine his view, just Havoc exploding.
Graves?
Why, yes.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I think it would be fun to use the sniper. I don't think I've ever used my sniper.
Oh, you're not getting up close and personal.
Right, you had one of those.
Indeed. So I will mark. Well, let me ask you this, Justin, because it's not specified in the description of the sniper by default.
Okay.
Do you think it would have a silencer, or do you think that will require some special action? It says find sniper rifle, a full bore auto lock with customized trigger, double cartridge, thorough gauge. A lot of that's just jargon, honestly.
Yeah,
thorough gauge doesn't mean much. It can fire mystic ammunition. Did you customize this yourself? Take it off a body, you know.
It says, did you customize it yourself?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's like if there's something implied within this game that like the customizations, that's just more of a fictional or story point. Nothing particular to the list of the descriptors of the gun, you know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I would say it's a similar thing to Barrick's Soul. I think it might be like a little different because you're the muscle and your whole point is just having weapons. Like if you think Graves would have put a silencer on a sniper rifle,
I feel like with it being Graves specifically,
it doesn't feel like he would do that.
Stealth is something I'm learning the hard way. Yeah. So in that case, then Actually, let me zoom out to a meta question I haven't thought of in a while. Fine
Sure.
means what mechanically?
Just like a quality, so it's gonna basically
Ambiguous, right?
it's not ambiguous. It's like it helps me determine the effect and the position, right? So
You
like
know-
let's say for
If it was
instance,
a regular blaster and it was a standard effect, it might be great effect because you used a fine weapon.
exactly. Or in this case, because these hegemonic guards are a higher tier than you, that kind of cancels it out, right?
Interesting.
if you shoot through Gear's thigh, it might muffle the sound. Just grab him real quick and
Hey, can I borrow your thigh? Just fire it through.
Stop! Hey!
No. Okay, in that case, then I don't think the sniper is the way to go. I think I'll go with something that seems quieter by default, which would be the vibroblade.
Flamethrower.
Flamethrower, of course. I mean, how much noise can those make? So yeah, let's mark vibroblade instead.
Okay.
And I'm just going to stay on this lower section and skulk up to one of them and just try to do the good old, hand around the mouth and then a little bit of vibroblade in the spine.
Yeah. What action?
Lower. Yeah. I mean, do you think that the challenge, like, I could skulk? I could just go straight to scrap.
You pick.
All right, give me the position and effect for scrap.
Yeah, I think you're controlled and standard.
Controlled and standard. Yeah, this is interesting because when you think about it, if I chose skulk and I roll successfully, it at least more clearly implies to me that I'm going to succeed in being stealthy.
Mm-hmm.
But if I use scrap, does that mean that a success won't be as stealthy necessarily?
It might mean that. It might mean that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll try it. Let's see. I don't think I need a devil's bargain. I get +1 die for Wrecking Crew because this is melee. Do I get Predator because he's unaware of my presence so far?
Yeah.
All right. 5 dice. This is what I'm good at. Stabby, stabby.
Yeah, for someone who just said that they're not good at stealth, you're pretty good at it.
Well, I have 2 pips in Skulk now, but I'm just talking about good at fighting. 6.
6. On a 6, you do it. So yeah, there's you shove this sword into this guard, like from out of a bush, and there's like a little bit where it seems like he might be making a bit of a noise, like a loud gurgling noise, and you like pull him back into the bush, and wait for a moment, and nothing. Guard doesn't come running around the corner.
Good. Very good. I yield the floor to Gears.
I had no idea that Graves would have been the smoothest
Right?
one out of all of us.
Hey, the dice favor me today.
Yeah.
We decided in chat, unless Steve has any issues with this, that I'll Jaeger Gears for this one. Now I have a question. Does his fine hacking rig, I know that this has been established at some point in the past, but I don't remember the answer to this question.
Okay.
Does his fine hacking rig, would that be able to command something remotely? Like, could he hack into one of the drones remotely?
I think we've established that he needs to be like plugged into the network
Okay.
to do that.
Okay.
Yep.
In that case, Gears will walk up, like he'll hide at a spot, waiting for the last guard on his patrol to walk by that spot. And when the guard walks by, Gears will stand up and go, "Hey friend, I think I'm a little lost. You mind helping me out with this?"
Hey, who are you? What are you doing here? And this person's about to open fire.
Yeah, what I was gonna say, because he waited till they were past him.
Yeah.
As they turn around, his blaster's already out, and he shoots them.
Okay, all right.
His
That's very-
6-shooter.
That's
I
very
love it.
Gears.
I love
Um,
Classy.
give me an action.
Yeah, I think this is a simple scrap.
A simple scrap. I think it's still controlled. That's the whole
it.
point.
We're
You
space
rolled it.
boys. Of course we scrap.
You're in a controlled position. We'll say standard effect.
All
We're
right.
space boys.
To in order to make sure that we mitigate any negative effects on our dear Gears, I'm going to use one of our Gambit.
We're gonna use our gambit.
We're space boys.
We're space boys.
Gambit.
No, I hate it,
Okay.
but I love
I keep dropping my dice, but not in my dice tray. Okay, here we go. Double sixes.
Wow, do it with increased effect then.
Do
I
you
would
get a
say
gambit even though you
not
used a gambit?
uncontrolled. Not uncontrolled. It's
Not
just
uncontrolled.
Only
Risky.
Gambit
Risky.
on risky.
Yeah, Gambit on risky. I get them on desperate, but not Gears.
Gears says that. The guard turns around and is about to fire, but before he can pull the trigger on his gun, a blaster pistol right through his chest or his head, whatever you want, however you want to kill him. If you want,
Yeah, head.
head,
His spleen.
and the body just topples back onto the ground.
4 for 4.
You've dealt with the 4 guards out here, so it's just the guards inside, and the drones inside as well.
At this point, Havoc has the guard suit on, and he's like trying to like rub the blood. He's like, "That's not. It'll be fine."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm assuming, let's just assume we set a rendezvous spot back where we were originally talking after we all have uniforms. All right. So now we just go in and do the thing, right?
Yeah, I think obviously we should still try to keep our distance from the guards, especially Havoc will look at the. You notice that around the chest area, there's some blood splatter on his.
Yeah. You make sure you hang to the rear.
All right. Am I prepared? Never mind.
Yeah, we'll go in, and we're it's time for a coffee break.
I like it. All right.
Cool. Yeah.
Me
Here's
and on
walking-
over.
Like to the construction interest.
Okay. Going to the construction entrance. Yeah, when you get inside, that there are, there's a couple guards who are also on a break here. And they're like, what are you all doing? Aren't you supposed to be on
Just to be
patrol
clear,
outside?
I'm not gonna be near these guys or try to be visible to
For
them.
sure. For sure.
It's the wrong- this is what I was talking about with sticking out. It's like
Yeah.
we're gonna be interacting
Like,
beings.
wait, you weren't a Ramden before.
You were a human, right? So it's just Barrack, Gears, and Havoc. And they're like,
Havoc. Let's see if Justin grants us this just as a piece in case it's useful. Instead of you wearing a potentially bloody uniform, might we suggest that?
Yeah, if you're not
Graves
going to be
wears
wearing
that
one. Then, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also, if Graves is also already not going in, maybe it makes sense for like Gears to hang out with Graves outside
so it's
as
just
a
us two.
contingency. Yeah, so it's just us
There we
two.
go.
There's
So we
less
can explain
questions
that
about
we're not
all of us.
all.
Sure.
We're not
Yeah.
all going on coffee
That's
break.
fun. That's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
You guys can post up on the roof with your
Sniper.
sniper and
Oh,
the
nice.
other sniper the guard left behind, and
Nice.
that way, if we need to
Love
run,
it.
you guys can cover our
Oh,
retreat.
I like that. That's fun.
That's fun. So then it's just Barrack and Havoc that walk in.
Yeah.
Two guards are like, it's not. What's going on? Aren't you guys supposed to be out there on patrol?
One's on patrol, one's on the roof. We figured two of us coming in and getting some coffee, making sure we're so alert wasn't going to hurt anything.
Give me a roll, because that's not how they do things here.
Sway. We'll do a sway.
I think it's risky, and I'm gonna say limited effect.
Okay. I will trade
So
desperate standard.
and standard effect. What makes it desperate now?
Maybe one of the guards that is talking to us was one of the ones at the table when I bet earlier. And there's a chance you'll recognize me.
There's not
That's
just
fun.
a chance; they will recognize you.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to assist as well since I'm here. Might as well.
Okay.
Sure. Okay. What do you say? What do you
And
do?
what was said? What was already said in the fiction so far?
Basically, I just said two of us were coming in for a coffee break, and we left the other two outside to keep patrolling and watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Javi was like, yeah, no, we mentioned that we posted them up on the roof, so they have an advantage point there. We'll be real quick. Nothing to worry.
Okay. So desperate and standard effect.
Okay.
You get an extra dice from Havoc.
Yeah.
Yes.
Assisting
thank you.
you.
Perhaps we should use a gambit.
I'm going to use a gambit too.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are the types of moments where we get punished greatly
Mhm.
if we
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Double sixes. So not only is it critical, but we get the gambit that I just used back because
Yep.
of Barrick's moves.
Very
Nice.
good. Yep. And it's done with great effect. So it's great effect. Or it's done with increased effect. So great effect. So I will say somehow this like in the shuffle in Barrick, maybe you immediately recognize this guard and like put your head down a little bit so he doesn't quite see you after you say
Yeah.
that.
Like pull the hat down over my eyes.
Exactly. And the guard's like, all right, grab your coffee and get up, grab your stuff and get back up there. We're not supposed to leave our posts.
Right.
Quickly.
Right. Of course. Yeah. We'll be quick. I promise.
And
Come on.
they just go back to
Nice.
their break.
Yeah. I nod at
Yep.
Havoc and I'm assuming like who cares where the coffee actually is? We'll just walk through into
Yeah,
the exposition
Yeah,
hall.
for sure.
Exhibition hall.
I'm trying to decide if they would be like, "Where are you going? The coffee's right there." But
It's
I
one of
will
those things
say,
where you see if we just ignore them and keep walking, hopefully they
keep
don't just-
walking. I'll just say, just to push things along. They don't. They're back in
Okay.
their own head and their own break.
I think on the communicators, and I'll let Gears and Graves know. I'll say, all right, we made it past them, just to give them a heads up.
I'm picturing this with you guys just like keeping lines open so that I can just hear a feed of how it's going, if that's cool.
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah, that's dope.
That's
I like
smart.
that.
That way I can just anticipate without you having to say something to me directly.
Yeah,
And maybe there's a time where you'll need me to shoot somebody. I don't know.
Yeah. No, we've done that
You're-
before. We've just kept comms open for
It makes sense. It
stuff
makes
like
sense. You just mute your side so that Graves doesn't speak.
Yeah.
What's that, guys? Can you say that again?
You walk into the only like room in this building, which is just this open floor expo. Very large. I'll say, I think I said that there are 3 stories. And there are still probably like not as many as you would imagine during the day, but there's still probably like 8 or so guards like milling about this the entire like 3 stories.
Yeah.
And you have to imagine that there's probably like easily like a couple dozen of these guards during the actual expo.
And we still don't know where the experimental hyperdrive is being kept at, right?
We
Yeah.
know that it's in the center in one of
It's in the
one
center.
of the 3.
Okay. So if we pretty effectively narrowed it down.
To some
Kind of.
degree at least.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe with Gears now being like on the building, maybe he has access. Maybe he has access there to a control panel where he can mayhaps hack into something to try to narrow down the
Sure.
location a bit more.
Sure, he certainly could. Yeah, he certainly could.
All right.
I'm right.
Should I take the Gears wheel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a classic Gears hack, I think.
Mhm.
Just maybe. Yeah.
Classic Gears hack. Okay, a
Classic
Gears
Gears.
hack. I think we're looking at risky. And what do you want to know? You want to know which
Just try
floor?
to narrow down the. Yeah, just try to narrow down the location of where the experimental hyperdrive has been kept a little
Sounds
more
good.
than we have
Sounds
already so far.
let's say that it is risky and standard.
I think that's fine. I'll allow it. Okay. Does Gears have anything that might apply here?
I don't
No.
think so.
I don't think so. All right. 6.
Okay. You can add a gambit back to your crew then.
Heck yeah.
And you do it. Gears gets on the radio and he goes, all right, I think I found a little bit more about this place. You've got personal weapons for like guards and whatnot, and the military on the first level. You've got like more like miscellaneous. I don't know. It's weird. It's like tech that affects a person's psyche on the second level, and then on the third level, you've got ship weapons and ship pieces.
All right, so Barrick, I think obviously it's probably in the level with the ship pieces, but also some of that tech sounds very promising. This is the work we do, and something that might be a little useful.
Yeah, why take a little when you could take a lot?
Exactly. I like you. I keep switching to like slightly Australian today. I don't know why.
I like you.
I like you.
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, let's see what we can
Take it off.
along the way.
Yeah.
What do you do? Because there are still guards kind of milling about.
There are still cards, yeah.
Yeah, we just start firing, man. Like,
Just start
I mean,
blasting.
I have something that could sort of thin out the guards up there.
Oh, okay. What do you want to
So
do?
we're after hours right now, which means there's not going to be any maintenance folks on site, except for if they're called in for an emergency, like if they're on call, is kind of the typical assumption. And so when security is essentially functioning in a role that's utilities facing as well, they're the first to respond to see if it's worth calling someone in. I'd like to just cut power to one section of the building. It's a new building. Maybe some stuff is temperamental.
Sure.
But there are a number of ways I could do it. It depends on kind of what you envision being the challenge, I guess, Justin. So if you don't mind, like, I don't know, without a study roll or a gather information, can you describe for me what it looks like for me to try to evaluate that opportunity a little bit?
Yeah. All right, let's I'm gonna roll some dice.
Yeah, baby.
So there is a like a breaker up here on the roof with you in Gears. You're gonna have a little bit less control over what shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
But you spy a security booth on the ground floor. That might give you a little bit more control, but you're not quite sure. There could be probably another guard in there who's ever like looking over things right now. Is a little bit riskier, but you might have a little bit more control that way.
Just saw the entire breaker in half.
And so with the breaker, this is so what I'd like to do then is I'll stick with the breaker, and I'm not just gonna like flip switches. Because then it's going to be like, who flipped this switch, or like we did a power search trip this, I kind of want to like just open the panel a little bit, like get under there, and like just like mess with something a little subtle, not like a wire cut type of a deal, but like
okay.
I was gonna say you also have those EMP bullets, Graves.
Exactly, I know, I know. But I feel like that's too big.
Yeah.
So, well, last time I used them was kind of big. So, what would be a subtle version of this? So something a little mysterious that doesn't immediately cause alarm, which would be, I think, speculating here because it's
Okay.
just weird enough that maybe they won't know what to do yet.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for a slower response and like someone tampered with this. But I'm going to use some of my highly acidic vomit. I'm gonna just this is uber gross detail. Sorry for those who are squeamish around this stuff. Graves is gonna just like throw up a little bit on like 2 fingertips type of a deal, and just like open the panel and reach far back into this mess of wires, and just like lace the acid on some of them.
Okay.
Gears turns and Graves is just gagging himself. He's like,
And just because we haven't brought this up in a long time, so Romden's can projectile vomit, and it has this very corrosive substance at close range that could be used in combat, but I haven't chosen to do so.
Yeah.
But it can go through metal, which is how we eat and process metal. And so it's pretty serious stuff.
Yep.
So I just like to mess some wires back there.
Okay. All right. I'm not tracking. I've wrapped my head around it now. I'm on board.
I'm glad you have. You're here. You made it.
What action?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with rig for the subtlety of opening the whole thing and figuring out a placement and then closing it back up so it looks like it's normal.
Fair. Yeah. I think we're looking at risky.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're looking at a limited effect.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's the thing that I keep wrapping my head around is like the subtlety of it. I have trouble imagining a subtle way to do this.
Yeah. But you could trade, Steve. Do desperate.
Yeah.
The effect. Or you can push yourself to increase the effect.
oh yeah.
I'll go for the trade first.
Okay, so desperate.
I don't know how to make it more risky or desperate, but
You scream when you vomit.
like a goat.
Nah.
Whoa. That's
Whoa, guys, come on.
I know this is a fictional world, but that felt racist.
What do you mean, you Romdens? All right, I think so that gives me desperate and standard.
Yeah. I think the desperateness of it, if you're trading up, is that yeah, I think the desperateness of it is that you might be a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Careful or like targeted now with your spit. You still have no way of knowing what is actually going to happen.
Like what controls what?
Yeah.
For the electrical panel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine by me. I just need it to be an ambiguous problem that's a little bit weird to sort out.
Okay. So desperate and standard.
Yeah. Oof. Do I take it? I will ask for a devil's bargain.
The devil's bargain is that not more guards, but there will be more people coming here.
Johnny's like, no.
Not guards and not a lot. It's just going to be one person, but there will be another person entering into the picture.
From the exterior of the building, is that implied?
Correct.
Like someone who is not even in the scene.
Correct. Yes.
Would somehow
way
come
that
to the
could end
scene.
Well, for us.
Probably like an evil overlord with magical powers. Can't do it. Turns out it was just a janitor, but I agree with Johnny's instinct. I'll shake my head no to that.
Okay.
And we'll take the 2 dice. Hope for the
Devil's
best.
bargain, not just a regular bargain.
That's right. None of that. Ooh, okay. Well, 4 we'll have to do.
Okay. So you do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer severe harm or serious complication occurs. think I'm gonna just use that complication that I had made, which is that you spit in this thing and you can even see like some of the lights like the stuttering on and off. Berg and Havoc, you start seeing this inside as well too, that like lights will like turn off momentarily and like flicker and like turn back on. Graves, you look out and you see a hover car that is driving down the road, gets to the gate opens, and out walks two people actually. One is a bald-headed man wearing like a lab coat. Next to him is a woman, and Gears goes, "Oh shit! I
Shoot
know
him.
her."
Who's that?
Shoot them both.
I'm thinking about it. Who's that?
She was my like advisor when I was in school at the Ascended Academy. She's the one I stole the hyperdrive forms from.
Why would she be here at night?
I don't maybe tuning up the hyperdrive, checking on it before the big expo tomorrow.
That's good news then. Let her open it. I'm going to do nothing about that. And I will resume my post with my sniper.
Ray's playing 4D chess. The rest of us are just here wanting to
sitting around.
I mean, I'm happy to snipe people. I'm just saying, I'm curious what she's going to do first, you know?
I love it. Let it escalate. I let things escalate. Well, I think we will have to see what happens next week.
It's that time. That's crazy. That's crazy how fast that flew by.
And once you really get into it,
steal a hyperdrive.
It's. I think it's been a while since we've done a job. It's been a very long time since we've done a job, and like it like takes a moment. I feel like to get into it, and then like the story just
also feels like
out of it.
This is kind of like feels like we're going back to form, just like a classic like heist job.
Yeah,
it's so good. Yeah. I even wrote it as like a classic heist job. Because I thought I was like, oh, it'd be fun to have him like steal it out from in the middle of the expo. Obviously, so risky, but it would have been so fun.
Yeah.
So it makes sense you would do it at night. But anyway, thank you all for playing, and we will we'll see you next week. For those that are on Twitch, we'll be back at the half hour mark.
That's right.
Whatever
time that is for you.
Yeah. See you in a bit. Bye.
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 Hello, friends. How's it going?
What do you think you are asking me such a personal question?
What are your deepest fears and insecurities?
Well, that's easy. Cheerios.
Whoop.
Checks
Is it
both
the-
boxes.
Is it the O shape and that it's not covered in sugar? Because that's
Some of them are covered in sugar.
Cheerios. Honey Nut Cheerios are, but just regular Cheerios aren't.
No. I cover my Cheerios in sugar.
I'm more scared now.
Despicable human.
Like very genuinely, if for some weird reason I'm in a scenario where I have to eat regular Cheerios, I do add sugar.
Oh no.
Regular Cheerios are kind of one of the worst cereals ever.
Oh
I
yeah.
like eating a box with milk.
Yep.
Yeah.
It really is. Same with what's
heard
that
that,
other one? The wheat one.
Which wheat one? If you say frosted shredded wheat, we can't be friends anymore. That's an
I
incredible
love
cereal.
frosted
Top
shredded
tier.
wheat.
Are you talking about non-frosted
I-
shredded wheat, just
I
like
think I
straight
was
shredded
thinking of-
wheat?
Yeah, I
There
think I was
is
just thinking
regular
of
wheat.
regular
It's
shredded.
not-
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's terrible.
I've never had frosted. What are your favorite cereals? We're already on it.
Oh man,
You're here.
I
You're here.
Talk cereals.
I could talk all day about my favorite cereals, and I'm not even kidding. I really could. I love corn pops. I love the whole line of Captain Crunch.
Mhm.
Like
strong choice.
yeah. If you want like more adult cereals, like you want me to be a serious man, I don't want that for my life. But if you want that for me, Honey Bunches of Oats, you can't really go wrong, especially when
I
you
love
get
Honey
lots
Bunches
of the
of
really
Oats.
big oat
That's
clusters.
Yeah.
My favorite cereal of all time, though, is discontinued in the United States at least. There's a tie for the top spot. Back in the day, discontinued in the early 2000s, Marshmallow Alphabets was like the greatest cereal ever made. It was
Really?
like this. It was just alphabet shaped cereal and alphabet shaped marshmallows, and it was incredible. The closest you can get is if you buy nowadays, you can buy like a bag of Lucky Charms marshmallows, and if you add that to frosted Cheerios, it tastes like marshmallow alphabets. You could tell
That
how much
sounds
time
good.
I spent thinking about this. Just the fact that I can tell you how to recreate this cereal. But then there's also French Toast Crunch. It was like shaped like little pieces of French
I
toast.
do remember those.
Mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
Yes. Those, yeah, I remember those.
Fond
We
memories
should
of
have done
that.
a cereal lineup like our last.
like we did last
Stars
time.
episode.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. So I have to separate
Draft.
things a
Cereal
little bit
draft.
here, even in a cursory fashion, because I've got sort of the cereals that are like sacred and beloved to me because, in part, nostalgia.
Mhm.
But I have had a second chapter in my life where, as I adjust to eating less copious amounts of sugar, my palate actually shifts eventually, so that when I try to re-experience certain things from the past, they're so overwhelmingly horribly sweet that I can't, and so I just try to let my memory be preserved and
Yeah.
not eat the thing anymore.
Sure.
So first category of just like no critique of this cereal as a destructive force in the universe, just love it from a nostalgia. Like for me, I think Fruity Pebbles would be high on the list. Johnny already called out Captain Crunch. I think Captain Crunch Classic would be great. Reese's Puffs was always high on the list for me as a kid. Cocoa Puffs was just a bit beneath Reese's Puffs, but I liked both a lot. I also enjoyed Cinnamon Toast Crunch a lot. So those are all up there.
Nice.
Oh, classics.
Yeah.
I have
Adult
I'm
cereals,
definitely-
as we call them, great grains, dates, nuts, and raisins, or whatever it's called, is actually really good. But it actually has just about as much sugar as any of the other ones, and so
Yeah.
not a huge improvement if you're trying to think of that.
I gotta say, I'm just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's it. I love Cocoa Puffs so much.
Yeah. So growing up, my dad and my sister both got diagnosed with. I think my dad got diagnosed with celiac, and I think we just assumed my sister had a gluten intolerance because she would get reactions to it. And so, I grew up eating things like Chex.
Yeah.
After when that was like in high school, but I mean like really early. I remember loving the chocolate Rice Krispies. You know.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Yeah, that was like my favorite. I loved it because it seemed like that because we all the classic, the cereal flavoring the milk. That I feel like would just straight up turn your milk into chocolate milk.
It would. Yeah.
And I loved
effective.
that. I
Yeah.
loved that so much.
Yeah. You know, even though I talked about like putting sugar on my Cheerios, one cereal that is like very plain, like Rice Krispies, I will eat an entire box of Rice Krispies and not look back. Like
'Cause the texture has so much to do with cereal eating as well.
It's true. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep. That's why whatever they figured out with Captain Crunch, like they're brilliant. Like
If you eat enough
something
Captain
about
Crunch,
the texture.
it makes the roof of your mouth start to bleed.
That's true. It kind of slowly cuts away at you like a piece
I
of
do find
fiberglass.
a lot of cereals
Yeah.
are like that. Yeah, that like if
Yeah.
you eat them enough, they'll just they hurt.
I feel like we're
Also-
slowly unselling cereal. It's great.
You know what is with you mentioned Reese's Puffs, Steve. I discovered the hard way. Reese's they must have like spent a long time really formulating that cereal to have just the right balance of like chocolate and peanut butter. And because if you try to mix like Cocoa Pebbles or not Cocoa Pebbles, I mean that you could do Cocoa Pebbles, but Cocoa Puffs and peanut butter Captain Crunch and try to like recreate Reese's Puffs with that, it is not good.
It doesn't work.
It's not the same.
Ah.
Interesting.
Like there's something about the chocolate of the Cocoa Puffs that clashes with the peanut butter of the Captain Crunch.
I believe you so hard right now. Yeah.
Just
We leave this to the scientists.
Yeah,
Kellogg's,
Yeah.
if you're listening, hire us. We've got a lot to say about.
we can at least
cereal.
tell you what not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, while we're at it, if any scientists are listening to us who happen to be cereal experts, please explain to me why, when my mom tried to repurpose Cookie Crisp, if y'all remember Cookie Crisp,
Oh yeah.
the cookie-
basically
I was
just
gonna ask
really
about
small cookies.
Yeah.
So we had ours go bad, like they went stale for some reason. They were like hidden too far back in the pantry. And my
Mhm.
mom tried to repurpose them into some chocolate pudding dessert. And I swear I have a vivid memory of this, and I'll fact check and I'll check with family members. Somehow, whatever she did in heating and incorporating these into a pudding turned the cookies of the Cookie Crisp into like almost see-through gelatinous globs. And the more I look back on that, the more I'm like, how is this even chemically possible? So if anyone can
Yeah.
figure that out for me, that's a thing I've been
wild.
puzzled about for a while.
Ooh.
Okay, hang on, real quick. This is a little bit off.
Am I
script, but
unlocking
have to-
memories?
You unlocked a thing that I have to talk about. I remember a few years back, like this is like 10, 15 years ago, there was a court case because someone claimed that they found a rodent inside of a can of Mountain Dew. And
Oh, I remember that.
Pepsi won the case because they were able to prove that if a rodent was in Mountain Dew long enough to be even just
It would
sealed
dissolve.
into the can, it would dissolve
It would
completely.
dissolve.
That's a great way to win a case.
Yeah.
Way
Wild.
to self-report though.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey guys,
Your
we're gonna
Honor,
get out of this one. It's a
There's
little,
no way that could be us.
It's
it's
like
an
the
unconventional
inverse.
play.
It's like the inverse of that whole thing where like Burger King had that ad campaign where they were proving that like McDonald's food won't mold, like it never goes
Yeah.
like totally rotten, and that's obviously a bad thing. Like how many
Yeah.
preservatives are in there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like the Mountain Dew thing is like the direct inverse of that.
that is so gross.
You could have been drinking red
Um,
the entire time. We've been drinking Mountain Dew.
I was just
Alyssa, I see your question in the chat. There's no their point was that there's no way to prove that there was a rat in the can because there could not have been a physical rat in the can the guy opened. It would have been so dissolved that there was no way of proving that there was ever a rat in there.
Oh,
Yeah, that's so crazy.
so gross. Mountain Dew is
Hey guys,
Maybe
we're
the
gonna
most
fight you on this.
disgusting
It's not because it's impossible for a rat to get in to our processes. It's because if they did, the
Yeah.
mere cycle from here to shelf is enough to
Mhm.
destroy that rat beyond
There's
recognition.
no way you saw.
Well, it's like the thing with like peanut butter. There's a certain amount of there's a certain amount of like animal product that is allowed
Yeah.
to be in peanut butter because they recognize that they cannot get like roaches
Same
and rodents out of the
Yeah,
factory.
they can't do 0%.
I'm more fine with
Same
that.
with, same with cow milk too.
Yeah.
Yeah, gross. Anyway, food's gross. Don't eat food.
Food's gross. Don't eat
Just-
any food
Just don't do it.
unless you make it
Yeah.
yourself from scratch.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can't. As I drink a soda, talking about the Mountain Dew dissolving,
I'm eating pumpkin seeds.
I
Oh,
had salad and salmon.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, there we go. Look at us being
I haven't eaten,
adults.
so I should eat after this.
I one time at a Walmart, like the prepackaged salads, saw a live roach crawling around the inside of one of those like plastic.
You are just
bowl, like,
unlucky with
prepackaged
this kind of
salads.
stuff. I feel like you just
Yeah.
you
Never gonna go shopping with Johnny. Never gonna order a can of tuna. Never gonna order.
Nope.
It's all good.
Yeah. Well, no. Here's the thing, though. It's freaking like Schrodinger's tuna bones, because if you opened a can of tuna and you could not find a bone in it, and I guarantee you close that same can of tuna, somehow reseal it and give it to me, I will open it and find a bone.
I know you will.
tuna bones.
We should do that sometime as like a live thing when we visit each other. We should just do a little video and
Like
like,
a little tuna can
Yeah.
draft.
No, I
Oh,
started
yeah.
paying like the exorbitant extra money that it costs to get the quote unquote premium tuna cans, because I don't get bones in those for some reason.
Johnny living
There
the
you go.
good life with premium tuna.
I'm not having as much tuna as I want because I have to get tuna half as often because I'm spending twice as much per can.
Well, we're not in a tuna can, but we are in a pickle.
Yeah.
Arna, thank you for that. I was looking for it. I was looking for the move into
I
it.
got you, Justin.
Thank you. Last week on The Professionals, our Scum and Villainy actual play podcast, our crew of the Montresor discovered that the hyperdrive is most likely being displayed at a technology expo taking place on Aurea. So they stalked the place out and snuck in at night. Were able to silently take out a bunch of guards. Barrick and Havoc put on guards uniforms, went inside, and are currently inside. Graves and Gears are outside. Graves shut down some of the electricity to some of the sections of the building, and Gears saw his old mentor, which I don't think I said the name. Maybe I did. Senka Ardell. She showed up with another person.
Yeah, it is new.
They
Senka
are
Ardell.
Senka Ardell, and they are currently walking into the expo hall.
And Havoc and Bear would be aware of that now, given that our line of comms is open, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. I guess Gears said that. Yep. So you would know that there's someone coming. So.
And
I
you
think
said
it is
Senka
there.
is responsible for something related to hyperdrive development, or was it?
Yes, she is. She was the chair of the warp drive department at the Ascended Academy.
Yeah,
She is
created
actually.
the blueprint that Greer stole, right?
Mhm. She is now no longer the chair. She is actually. She
The
is
bed.
the president of the whole Ascended Academy.
Oh,
She's been promoted. Yep.
Wow.
Oh wow! But that's not knowledge to us, is it? Or is it knowledge to Gears?
No. Gears would
Okay.
not know that. No.
So
Dang
us
it!
the
If only I knew what our listeners knew.
Ugh.
Yeah, the things I could do.
You could just drop out. You could drop out of the campaign. Just go listen
Suggesting I
in on
join
Twitch.
Dropout TV.
Join as a listener.
then
I'd
you'll know
love
the listeners.
Yeah, just join the listeners. Let's pick it up there. What
Let's
do you-
pick it up.
Pick it up.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
getting
shit.
the information then over the comms that this woman is on her way in. Barrick looks at Havoc, says, "Yeah, we'll split up. But what do we say? We join the scientists once the chamber's open."
I like that idea very much. I'll check out the mental thingamajigs and you can grab some weapons that might be useful. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll find my way there.
All right.
Now, as you're making your way, I would like to reiterate that this is a glass tube. So any guards walking around will be able to see you inside.
But we're in guard uniforms.
You are in guard uniforms. Now, are you supposed to be in there? That would be the other question as well, too.
Mr. Coffee Break.
I have papers that specifically say I belong in here.
I belong in this
It
too.
just says, I belong in here. I belong in this too. Now, here is the other thing as well, which is that there is a single door, like a security door, going into the tube on each floor. It is not roped off. It looks very high tech. there is a circle around it that's about 2 feet away from the door in sort of a circumference. And as you're like getting ready to split up, you maybe see one of the guards who like walks a little bit past that circle, and one of the drones immediately, as soon as his foot enters into that 2-foot circumference away from the door, spins and fires. The guard just like quickly steps back and walks on his patrol route.
I get into the comms. Does anybody have a way of shutting these drones down?
I sure do. Says Gears.
Gonna get everybody's Gears impression before the end of these 2 episodes.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I can't wait
here. Probably got to work on something like this. Let me get over to his character sheet. And so this is, what do you think? Trying to... I feel like shutting down would be conspicuous, but I'm wondering about
It's also the question of can you do it from here?
Right. Yeah.
He's not going to be able to remotely hack them from here.
Yeah. You said there's some sort of like mainframe type of deal that you need to get connected to.
Yeah, there's on the ground floor. There's a security
that's right.
office or booth.
There's a sort of booth that we assume is kind of plugged into all that stuff.
Maybe we'll all have to split up. Everyone will be on their own for a bit.
If there's anything like Watch Dogs, if you can hack a camera and you can view a control panel, then you can just hack that because the camera can see the control panel. And I think that makes sense.
Watch Dogs is like the epitome of how technology works too. That is definitely
sarcasm much. Yeah.
You hack a camera so you can see a control panel. You hack the control panel so that you can get into a camera. And then you hack that camera so you can see the next control panel. You just keep going until you make your way across the city.
So if I understand your description correctly, Justin, this is sort of an area that Barrick or Havoc or both would need to pass in order to get to
inside.
Yeah, inside proper, near any of the choice items on these floors.
If you were talking to anybody, it was clear that like anything in this vault, this tube, was not able to be like played with by anybody who comes to the expo. You just look at it from outside the tube and that's it.
Yep, heard that. Yep. But I'm just making sure like they essentially can't navigate further unless they go past this area that drones are sort of quickly like shooting anyone who passes this perimeter. Okay.
And it's very like, they obviously don't want the public. So it's very clear where that line is, right? So like people tomorrow aren't just like walking up to that line. Like
I assumed it was just a nighttime security measure, not that they would be shooting people on sight if they walk within a certain distance.
Oh no, they will. It's very clear on the ground where this 2-foot like line is. So that way people don't walk up to it.
I love it. I wonder what the laws are like here. This is like no liability laws on this planet. It's basically Spain.
I mean, this is like the cutting edge of techniques.
It's basically Spain really took me out there.
I do think that Gears is so the path to this office, this like security booth. Is there a way that I can have Gears go towards that booth without having to go past the whole cluster of guards on their break? Is there any other sort of point of access?
I mean, it's outside.
Okay, it is external. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think. Gears has a fine. No, he has a small drone, right?
He does have a small drone.
I don't remember what his drone can do.
I don't think he's maybe used it once or twice.
He did use it to hack something very early days.
Drones 286, stationary exposed, slow walks, mobility, drone magnitudes, chassis. I don't have details on what this thing is. Okay. I'm just worried about him opening a door and having someone be inside the office, and so I'm wondering if there's
Yep.
like a way the drone could scope out things further. Do
Sure.
you think that's necessary? I'll take the
That's what you
cautious
wanna
route.
do.
Yeah,
If that's
I'll
what you
take the
wanna do.
cautious route. I'll send a small little drone to see if it can detect, and we didn't get on our other sort of info pass about, security presence within the booth.
Okay, so you're sending a small drone in to look in the security booth to see if there's someone in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much we've determined what the small drone does. So if you think it can scan or look through a window or whatever opportunity, I'd love to avoid having a drone go into a room, but
Sure. I mean, it can look through the window. I think that's fine.
cool.
I'm trying to decide if that's. I still think it's a roll.
Yeah, is it
Still
fortune?
think it's a roll.
Just like, is someone in
No,
there or not?
I-
Or is it?
I mean, I think there's an element of risk of being found out still. Just because it's small
Sure.
doesn't mean somebody can't see it.
Yeah.
I do think it won't scan from where you are. I think it does need to get up to
Yeah.
a window, so it could be seen. I think is the risk here.
Okay. I'm going to call it rig. It's essentially a piloting job, trying to get this thing,
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That makes sense. I think we're looking at risky, and we'll say standard. Risky standard. You'll see what's inside.
Okay. 3. This is not a roll to spend too much on. I'll take it as is.
Okay.
6. Thank you.
There you go. Add a gambit.
Trying to make you proud, Nick.
Nick's always proud. I shouldn't say that for him. It was just a funny joke. You can see that there is a single guy sitting at a chair, sort of watching like a bunch of TVs that have various angles across the entire expo.
Okay.
What about him makes Gear so sure he's single?
Yeah.
He's currently got like a lot of tissues next to him. You can see a tan line around where there used to be a ring.
Oh,
no.
So he's recently and sad single. That's the
Yeah.
type of single he is? Not just like
Yeah.
happy single?
He's never
Aw.
even mentioned it before.
What?
What?
What? I'm muting myself.
Then he can't say what to himself. That's not allowed.
Is there anyone who can't say what to themselves? It's Danny.
What? Oh man. Okay. So, aside from the lovely fictional details there around this person, I feel like I tuned out on the practically important stuff. Did you say anything else salient to strategize around?
There's one person in here. He's sitting at a chair looking at a bunch of TVs
Mhm.
that have various angles of the expo. In fact, you can probably see there's a TV that you can see Barrick and Havoc splitting up and going in different directions.
Okay.
At this point, it's just revealed to us that he saw the entire murder of the guards outside take place. And he didn't do anything.
The guy's just so busy grieving.
Or yeah, he
wow.
didn't see it because he was crying.
Yeah, there's a montage of every time another guard's about to be murdered, he's just stabbing his eyes.
Delightful.
It's too real.
Oh no.
Yeah. Justin, do we want to limit speculation around what the drone can do and switch to what Gears can do in person at this
Yeah,
point?
maybe. I think so. Just keep things kosher.
Okay. We got somebody in there, Graves. On it. Love having some dialogue with myself.
Keep this dialogue going. I love it.
Yeah, I just feel like this is more my lane. I'm gonna have
Mhm.
Graves skulk in there and put this guy out of his misery.
I love it. Give me an action.
Okay.
What a genteel and loving
I
thing
know.
you're doing for this.
What a kind man, goat man. I'm going to lean into skulk because I feel like that's sort of the most important element is getting into that booth quietly.
That's fair. That's so fair.
And I'd like, if it's okay, I'd like to include within the scope of the action the attempted kill. But if you want to separate it up, that's fine.
No. I don't think it requires 2 rolls.
Okay. Position.
I'm gonna say it's risky still.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say standard effect. You will get in there and take him out.
Okay. I am going to I'll take those odds. I'll take that arrangement. Double 6.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Very happy.
Add a gamut, and it's going to be a great effect. So silently.
Yay.
You sneak in and put this poor guard out of his misery. I'll say too, with great effect, you can get gears in there as well too. You won't have to have gears like sneak.
Oh, awesome.
As well.
Awesome. Oh, love that. So I'm basically just doing I'm just leading the way. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to say that the drone kind of gave us comms access for a little bit when we had an audio feed. And so Graves goes in, sees the guy with his tissues, and just whispers in his ear, "She was not good enough for you anyway," and snaps his neck. And
messed up.
That is. Dang.
And let's switch to gears, and I would like to trying to do something that wouldn't be obvious to folks who are familiar with the drone pattern, like the walking, like the foot security. So I'd like to try to just disable temporarily the defense mechanism, like the firing, whatever weapons are on these units. So they're going to keep their circuit going. They're going to keep looking, but if people are to step in to the space, they won't get shot at for some period of time. It feels like a modest goal.
Okay. Sorry, one more time.
Trying to turn off the weapons temporarily.
Okay. The drones.
Well, while letting the drones continue their circuit so they don't seem to be altered.
So just
otherwise.
the weapons in the drones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like I'm sure there's some safety component where it's like, while we're working on these drones, we need to approach them. We need to modify something manually. Like you got to turn off something, So.
Okay. I think that's risky, and I'm assuming you're having gears to this.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say limited effect.
Okay. Risky limited. I'll trade to desperate.
What makes it desperate?
I think it depends on
The
essentially what you think is complex in the task.
I think the complexity is, even with Gear's fine hacking tools, these are, quite a bit tier above even Gear's ability. These are like state of the art security bots, cutting edge technology.
So what would be a desperate move then?
I mean, I think what would
Maybe
be
I'm looking at like protocols that you can run
Sure.
within this thing. And I'm having trouble seeing like which specific ones might correspond to my intended goal. And so I choose one that seems a little more comprehensive.
Sure, I love it.
Like it could shut down the drones entirely.
I think I was gonna say desperate. Yeah, you might trigger something you're not intending to trigger. Or yep.
Let's see. I'm gonna say I don't know if I specified this is hack. So 1, 2, 3 pips for hack. You gave me back to standard effect now.
Yep, desperate standard.
I don't know what else I can do. I don't think I want most devil's bargains that I could imagine for this. So
You never know until you ask.
I don't even want to ask you right now, GM. I'm gonna roll.
I don't want to talk to you.
Gonna roll 3 frickin' dice for Nick Coplin. Yes, double sixes again. Goodness.
Wow, I was really hoping
I'm
for the
happy.
one.
I know. This is the GM's moment. You're like, yes, I will destroy you.
All right, so we have great effect.
I'm desperate. So
You know
I'll mark
what?
XP for.
With great
Gears.
effect, I think Gears is able to not only turn off the weapons, but turns off their motion sensor cameras. So even they can't even detect that somebody walks over that little lip.
Oh, very happy. Very happy. Thank you, GM. All right.
Mhm.
You guys should be good to go for a little bit.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Gears.
I walk up to the panel for the weapons display. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do the same for
it's
the
just
other
Don't
one.
need to
Little
wait.
tippy toe.
it is a door. It is so that would mean that Barrick is on the first floor because you went after the like personal weapons, not the ship weapons.
Mhm.
So you're on the first floor. You're looking at this thing. I'm not even gonna make you roll. I mean, I could, I guess.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, I think I could. There is a sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. Yes, that's what it is. You can see that there actually isn't any control panels. There's just a door and blinking like a light that up to the right of it is red right now. But you don't see any control panels. You don't see any like slots for any keys or anything.
A puzzle. I walk away.
I'm trying to think if you would have been able to
Puzzles.
because did you get any information about the like security at this place?
No, they left when I tried to.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So then yeah, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know what this is.
Okay. Barrick like tries to like kind of like dig his fingers at like the seam of the door, and
Yeah.
if that doesn't work, he actually does give up.
Yeah, I think just to like add some to the narrative and to the tension of it, I think that like as you're like trying to stick your fingers in is when these two people walk in, and the man goes, "You there? What are you doing?
Oh,
Are you a god? Why are you trying to get in right now?"
yeah, I thought that I saw something moving inside, and I was just concerned that it was going to mess things up, and so I was trying to get in to fix it. But now I'm not even seeing it, so it's
give
all
me
probably fine.
Give me an action roll.
Okay. I mean, hopefully, I think sway would make sense here, right?
Sure, yeah. I think that this is risky and limited.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna use a gambit
Okay.
because we just got so many gambit.
A lot of gambit.
Okay. Let me hear a devil's bargain too.
A devil's bargain. The devil's bargain is that he will believe you, but I will start a clock for this person not believing you anymore.
I'll take it.
Like putting 2 and 2 together. Like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second.
Okay. Hell yeah. Double sixes.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Look
got
at our luck tonight.
Double
We're
six,
gonna-
double four.
We're gonna bring Nick's character back to him intact. We're gonna do all right.
Oh,
Now that you said that
You
out
know,
loud, Steve,
we're jinxed.
Thanks.
You're welcome, guys. You're welcome.
Nick comes back and Gears is dead. Oh my
Is
god.
dead. Is
I'm
just
so
dead.
sorry.
Just dead. Oh, that means we get
Yes.
that gambit back, though.
No, because you spent one. Oh, because of an
Yes,
ability.
because I'm Barrick Soul.
Yeah, because he's
You're Barrick Soul. Yes, you are.
So,
Yeah, no, I've
he-
never tell me the odds, so I also generate gambit on desperate rolls, and I may generate gambits even if I
good.
spend a gambit.
That is dope. That's
so
very
good.
cool. That is very cool. In that case, with great effect, he goes, were you not prepped? You know, I'm the only one that can get into these doors. And he walks up, and as soon as he passes that like 2-foot circumference I mentioned, the light turns green. And there's a moment he just like stares at the door for a second, and then the door opens. And he goes, check it for whatever you thought you saw in there. And then report to me on the 3rd floor.
Of course, yes. I will see you on the 3rd floor shortly. I will check it. I will make sure it's shut up tight, and I will come report to you.
Barrick, who was that? And he'll have a go ask that and assume that Barrick will answer when he's out of earshot of that man.
I should say too that because these are like exhibitions and whatnot, like you can see what they are without going in, right? Like there's like a plaque or what. And on this 1st floor, Barrick, there is there's like a headset with like gears and what around it. And
Gears
then
is in there?
Gears is just in there. No, it's like a little headset with like gears and servos, and then next to that is a chip, and it says Neuralink weapon system. And then there's also a just like one of those big like great hammers type looking things that says resonant sonic hammer.
It's a gravity hammer.
Yeah, cool. And that's the only things in there?
Those are the 2 things on this floor, yes.
Cool. I grab them both.
Steve's eyes at the hammer.
Cut. I'm gonna need an action because this is glass and everyone can see you doing it.
Let's do Skulk.
That's fair.
For the record, I don't mind if Graves becomes basically Thor for the final arc of his character.
That's my hope for you, which is why I'm grabbing this.
Thank you so much.
I will use the gambit that I just regained.
Okay. I think we're probably looking at. Is it desperate or risky? I think let's just say risky.
Okay.
But I don't think just this action is going to be enough to get out. Right? You're still going to be holding these things, so it's not going to be enough to get out of the building.
Okay.
Unless you're planning to like. What I'm saying is you got to find some place to stash them. Otherwise, you're going to be walking around carrying these things, and that's a no-go.
Sure.
So I think we're looking at risky limited.
Okay. Let's make it desperate standard.
Okay, what about this is desperate now?
Well, I mean, like you said, everyone can see me, and I'm making no effort to cover it. I mean, I'm trying to be subtle about it, but I think also my intention is to, if I get this stuff, run out with it and then come back in a moment.
Okay, perfect.
Huh.
Okay. All right. So
You're not even
then
gonna stash it. You're just gonna try to run out with it as soon as you get it, and then Jeez.
Okay.
Okay.
Desperate standard. Okay.
Double six again.
Oh,
Wow. Jeez.
For the gambit,
y'all.
huh?
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
I gotta. Yeah, that's because of the gambit. I'm gonna
dude, Barrick is just gonna
taking pictures of these.
give
ones.
us the gambit like camp.
I felt the need to hold my second double sixes up tonight. I was like, "Yo, this is real." I'm so
Believe
happy.
you. I believe you. I believe you. Great effect. I will say then, yeah, you were able to grab these things. Where are you planning to put them?
I was gonna put them at the door that me and Havoc are gonna go out. So I guess I am technically kind of stashing them, but I'm like taking them back by the construction door and kind of putting them like tucking them back behind some pallets or something like that.
Okay. All right. All right. I will let you do that. I was trying to decide if I wanted to have
Another
another roll.
action or not?
There's still 2 guards sitting
sure.
there.
Oh, they're
So
still
you
taking their
walk
break.
in. I mean, it's only been a few minutes.
Just the type of guards to give us shit about taking our break.
I know. They're exactly. I was gonna say like this is actually very accurate to life. You think you guys can go on coffee 2 at a time? Make it quick.
Quick.
So then I was saying to
They've been there
Sandra,
You'll never believe this. No, I let's just keep it moving. I think you're able to like even them. There's like they're embroiled in some hot goss and they don't even see you, and you're able to just stash it. Right?
Yeah. To be honest, I'm thinking about it now, and I don't know that Barrick would see the value immediately presented in the headset. I think he grabs the hammer, but I don't think he takes the headset.
Okay, so you just grab the hammer. Okay, I love it.
I think that makes sense.
I mean, I put all this stuff in your path, so I don't, obviously I'm.
I think
okay
it
with
makes.
taking it.
Yeah, I think also
I'm
makes
also
sense
okay
to
with you
like
not taking it.
lugging around a hammer and this like headset thing. It makes sense.
Sure,
That we're
yeah.
like, okay, the hammer is also easier to grab too, and
Yep.
looks more promising.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the integrated weapon system Neuralink thing is like, I don't have the weapons, I just have the headset. Like,
Well, that's
So-
what the chip is for.
oh, the chip connects to any weapon.
Yes.
Well, that's cool.
So every weapon in this universe has a chip set that you could just plug a chip into to make it.
You might
Well,
have
not
to.
every
Gears,
weapon.
Gears might have to
Gotcha.
modulate some things and change some things around. But
Okay, that sounded sarcastic, but I didn't mean it sarcastically. I was like, you barely
No,
know
I-
that if like every weapon
Yeah.
had the ability to just like. could
I
just
think
put
we
a
have
chip
said
in
that
you.
there are some analog weapons still around. So like obviously not those, but like I would say there's a good majority.
Yeah.
I mean, Gears
of
has a
weapons you
classic revolver.
Yeah, I guess I still don't think Barrick would necessarily grab that.
for sure. That's fine. So you grab the hammer.
Yeah.
Let's cut to. I mean, I think let's cut to Havoc. I think
Shooting, blasting both pistols in the air, screaming
just
as he goes.
shooting everybody. Because you will not have these scientists are going up to the 3rd floor. You will not have the option to try and get this person to open it. But I do think you wouldn't know that yet because you walk up and you see 2 things in this like tube. One is it's just like a chip, another chip. But it
Like Doritos.
it says gene modulator and personality resculptor.
Gene modulator and personality
Modulator.
sculpture. And we're talking
Whoa.
GENE, right?
Yes. Yes. Not gene modulator. It doesn't
That's next week.
modulate your denim jeans.
Change the size of your
Um,
pants without the help of a seamstress.
Fashion tech.
That'd be pretty
And
cool,
then-
though. That'd be pretty cool.
And then the second thing is there's like a doctor's chair, and there's like a mannequin attached to it, and it's looking up at this like overarching like almost half moon display, and it says memory drift, and then in parentheses it says chrono warp memory access.
That's cool. But also, there's no way I'm getting an entire chair out of here.
It's not the chair. It's just this like it's probably like a 15 not a 15 foot, maybe like 6 foot visor almost.
Okay.
Like half circle visor.
Okay, like hanging
That's-
above it.
hanging above it. Correct. That would like
Okay.
lower over the person in the chair's face.
I love the idea that Havoc and Barrick both leave like the most valuable pieces of tech they find behind because they don't understand what they do.
Yeah, they're like, that's clearly a hammer. Getting that.
That helmet has a lot of open spots. Don't know how it's useful.
Who could say?
But the first order of business is figuring out how to get into here, huh?
Correct, because you can see that there's no keypad. There's just that 2-foot circle around the door.
Okay. So you know, this job's been going great. So I think it's been going pretty smooth up thus far, right? Havoc does have a trauma in
might say.
his checklist. I kind of want to do like a flashback.
Ooh.
Okay. What do you want to do?
So I imagine maybe there is. I'm like mixing sci-fi with like modern, like real life. I like to imagine there's some sort of like. Well, no, there are cars in this world.
For sure.
So we see a scene of Havoc as they're approaching their vantage point where they're looking at the guards outside. Maybe they had to walk through like a parking garage or just a parking lot or something. As they're walking through, Havoc stayed closer to the back of the group and had laid detonators underneath some of the cars. And so Havoc, basically, that's the reason for the flashback, because Havoc is gonna, in now times, is gonna pull out his blaster and point it right at where he thinks would help to shoot at the door to open it, and hold out his remote for the detonators. And try to explode. And I'm thinking, like, as that explosion happens, car alarms go off
to cover the sound of you firing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He didn't tell anyone else in the party about this. He just sort of did this.
Yep. I know. I love it.
Absolutely.
No, you shouldn't. Yeah. As is your right, as is Scum and Villainy, criminal, to not tell your party members what you're doing. I love it. I think there should be more flashbacks where you just have set something up for yourself personally. I love it. I think that's probably a one stretch flashback.
Okay.
One
take
stretch flashback.
I'll mark
And
detonator on my thing.
now I will keep that in mind for your action roll.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, he's holding up the remote for his detonator and his pistol just at the door, and just at the same time
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna
What,
click the detonator first, and then right after try to just
So
shoot
that
the
way,
door.
yeah. What action?
I want to say I feel like Rig might make sense. Just sort of like looking at this door, being like, I feel like this.
Yeah, sure.
Because I know the way you explained it to Johnny also made it seem like there isn't really like a panel
No
on this
panel.
door. So
It's just a door.
yeah. And so where he
Yep.
think would make sense to shoot, like
Okay.
maybe he sees like a light or something. He's like, I'll shoot that light and see what happens.
Yeah. I think we're looking at risky limited. I think even if you had not done a flashback, it would have been no effect.
Okay.
But I think you've given yourself a chance to, like, you fire once, see if that doesn't work. Maybe you fire a couple more times to see if you can hit it in just the right spot. So I think we're looking at risky limited.
Okay, so I do want to trade down to Dustfire. I'm just trying to think about. I'm dropping my dice before I'm even supposed to roll.
Oh no!
I'm trying to think about how that would make sense in the fiction. I mean, I think Havoc is assuming that after he explodes those cars, maybe some alarms are going to go off. He's wreaking havoc, if you will. And so I think he's just gonna. He's preemptively deciding to use that opportunity just to blast the door like a couple times, like a few times, just like
Sure.
until something happens.
Okay.
Do you think that suffices as enough
I think
to
that
trade down to
sounds
desperate?
desperate.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. And then I'll take the die from Daredevil instead of the XP. So I'm rolling with 2 dice now.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna roll.
Okay.
Rigmarole. All right. Here we go. Jeez. A 6, a 3, and a 6.
Wow, you do it.
Not 2 6s,
So,
guys. Right? I'm not
just the
cool
one.
like y'all.
You fire once and it does nothing, and so you like look around and you can see that like the alarms are still going off. You know, maybe a couple of the guards are like standing up a little bit to go like investigate where the sound is. So you're like, all right, I think I can risk it. And you do a couple more shots, and then the door snaps and shoots open.
All right. Havoc is walking over like, sorry about that. So contingency put in place. No worries. Everything's fine.
Take the chair.
I think the chair, but not the. But not the I think the chair is the technology. The gene modulator and personality sculptor. What does it look like again? Like, what exactly was it?
It's a chip.
It's a chip. Oh, I yoink that, of course. It's just a little microchip, like in like a little case or something. Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yoinking that.
It's not in a case. You squish it with your fingers on accident.
Hey, no, I don't want to do that. I think Havoc looks at the, what was it called?
I would like to
Memory
say what it
drift?
is again.
Yeah.
Chrono warp memory access. And if you read the little plaque, it says like access your memories.
That's very appealing to Havoc.
I know it is.
But he's looking at it and he's thinking, how do I get this out of here? Because now he has heard that Barrick now is assumingly going to meet with that man on the 3rd floor, and Havoc doesn't want to show up just holding this thing. And so I think,
depending on how long you're thinking, probably at some point relatively soon, you hear Barrick say, quote unquote, to himself, all right, should head up to the 3rd floor for that meeting now.
Yeah. Okay, so I think, so it's like a convention center.
Mm-hmm.
Say like nearby outside of this display area, maybe there's something like a concessions cart or a janitor's like station that's just sort of left there.
Okay.
That maybe Havoc's able to hide this thing in. Maybe there's some like, I don't know. I'm trying to.
I'm gonna roll fortune dice.
Yeah, I'm trying to add what I can.
Panel.
It's 6. Yeah, you're.
And
It's
yeah,
big.
it's like
a
6
big
foot.
thing.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, you might need a second person.
In diameter. Yeah.
It's huge.
Sorry, maybe that's too big. I'm picturing it just goes kind of around, so maybe like 3 feet.
Yeah, like because I was picturing like a it's
It's
like
not like a personal visor,
firm,
but
right?
it's
It's like that. Okay. That's,
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's like think like one of those like futuristic tech visors that goes over like someone's eyes.
It's like
just
in
make it like
Wallace and Gromit
little
versus the
bit
Weird
bigger.
Rabbit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I should be able to carry by myself then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'd like to. Is there anything like that?
There is a cart. However, to get it there, you're gonna have to pass through like a pretty open area.
Okay. I think with the alarms going off and just sort of really just latching on to his confidence, I think Havoc is just going to just trust in his luck and just try to see what will happen if he just nonchalantly walks out of there
With this thing.
to the cart
Okay.
and just sees if he can put the thing in the cart.
Okay. Give me an action.
I think just in order to, because he's not like running, he's not like sprinting, he's just sort of like
Yeah.
speed walking.
Would you
I
not
think
get an
both-
extra die if you were sprinting?
I mean, honestly, Johnny, I'd get potency. Yeah, no, F it. Yeah, just no holds barred. He's like, all right, it doesn't seem like anyone's looking in this direction right now, so just
You just
sprint.
sprint.
And
Okay. All right.
basically
Give me an
dive for
action.
this part.
Yeah, give me an action.
Scramble.
We were so smooth right up until this
That's
moment,
fair.
you know?
That's so fair. That's fair.
I mean, this is not
Uh,
altogether different from. I'm imagining if you could like zoom out and bisect the building, or like look out through like a window where you can see both floors. You just see Havoc and Barrick simultaneously sprinting with the
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, very like Wes Anderson style
Yeah.
shot of like the building center frame. Two of you on different floors running in the same direction. I think we're looking at a desperate position, and you have potency, so I'm gonna say a standard effect.
Okay.
We'll get there and be able to hide this thing.
All right. With it being desperate, I'll
What is
take
it?
the die from Daredevil rather than the XP.
Okay.
You have 4 Gambit that you could take one of as well.
I think I'm gonna take a Gambit. I really want this thing. So I'll take a Gambit. Mark that off. That's 3 dice. I'm going to. Can I hear a Devil's Bargain?
Yeah, of course. You can always hear a devil's bargain. The devil's bargain is. Oh, the devil's bargain is that like you get there quickly. You kind of you're gonna scrape up this thing a little bit. Gears will need to fix it up first.
That seems annoying. I'm gonna push myself instead.
Okay.
I want to use this thing. It's like, I'll push myself. I'm rolling 3 dice. I'll push myself for potency. Right? I can do that, right? Is that a thing you can do?
Technically, no, because technically
potency
what
doesn't stat.
we would just take like
Okay.
the most prevalent part of the situation.
Okay. Fine. Yeah, so I'll push myself for just dice. Then. Die.
Die.
Okay,
Does
rolling.
Does it specifically say it gives you potency, or
Does
does
it
it just say increased effect?
Or does it say increased effect? Oh, I think it says. Oh, it says push up for increased effect, right?
Then yeah, you can still
Okay.
do it.
Okay, so I'll push myself for increased effect. Sorry, I worded it like potency.
You're good.
Stupid.
No, you're not stupid.
Danny, no.
There it is, baby. Double 6s.
Wow. So you do
Nice.
do
There it is.
even more increased effect. You are able to very quickly get this thing. There's like a hot dog cart, and you're able to like open up the thing and like shove it in, close it.
Yeah, so basically,
I love that.
what it looks like is Havoc sprints. He's like sprinting, full on sprinting. He shoves it in there.
Yeah.
And instantly, as soon as he shoves it in there, hands in his pockets, just whistling, walks away.
Yeah. Walks away. Let's. I assume the 3 of you are getting up to the third floor now. Yep. We'll have the 2 of you kind of meet back up, and like as you're walking down the gangway to the tube on the 3rd floor, the 2 doctors are walking back, and the man goes, "Sorry, do you know what that alarm is? I don't really want to open this tube without knowing what that is. Are you here to protect us? Can you go check on that, please, first?"
We have people on it. We're here to protect you.
Okay, give me an action roll.
I'll sway.
That's fair.
Sway.
I think we're looking at risky and what did last sway was risky limited, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is risky limited still too.
I would like to trade to Desperate Standard. I don't really know what makes it more desperate though.
Start winking at him, give him a kissy face.
With those golden eyes.
I think the desperateness is that like he just won't believe your lie. Not like completely, but like I'll mark more off of that. The eventually he'll the
okay.
clock of him knowing.
Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna use a gambit. I don't think I want a double spark in right now. It's okay. Double 6.
Jesus.
Look at us tonight. Each of us have rolled
Greatest
some double
deck.
6.
I think this is my
Yeah,
third
no.
double 6 in a row.
It's something. I'll say that. It's something.
I'll say that as a GM, we've seen some things. This is something.
It's something.
That's all I'll say. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. Something.
Fine. Just
Take some pictures, all these. I know not because I don't think you trust me, but I just
no, I believe.
I don't know.
All right. If as long as it's being taken care of, Dr. Ardell and I are going to open up this door. We have to just take a quick look at something with the hyperdrive, and then we'll be out of your hair.
Of course, we're going to be standing close just to make sure that nothing approaches. If anything is going on with those alarms, we don't want anything to happen to you or the doctor.
I understand. We'll be safe in the tubes. You can stand outside of the tube. That will be fine. Thank you. And he doesn't even wait for you to respond. He just
As they turn around, Havoc's gonna look at Barrick and like point to them like questioningly and like run the back of his thumb like against his neck. Like, are we killing them?
And Barrick will wink and just hold up one finger and then kind of like put his hands together and make like a door opening motion.
I'd love to see the
Havoc-
security footage
Havoc
on
will-
this too.
Havoc will hold up a thumb like he understands what that means, but he doesn't. But he's still regardless gonna put his hand on his gun, ready for something to happen.
you wait for them, and as soon as Dr. Kel Norris gets within that 2-foot thing,
I get
the
it
light
now.
turns green, and he stands there for a moment and looks at the door, and the door opens.
How big is the hyperdrive?
It's pretty big. I don't know how big a hyperdrive is. I don't think anybody knows how big a
You
hyperdrive
haven't
is.
been on a
picturing,
spaceship
like,
before, Justin?
but
What the
I
heck?
do imagine
major part of like an engine in a car. It's like
Well, I mean,
I
because it could be
they're
like
pretty big.
depending on how big it is. Like there are parts of a car that I can't pick up. There are parts of a car that are just as vital that I can. Like
I
we need to like
I
cart
think
it out
it's
of here, like
pretty big.
wheel it out of here.
I guess my question is like,
yeah.
is it so big that we weren't getting this thing out of here anyway, and this was all a waste of time, or is it big enough that Havoc and I could carry it out if we do something here?
Well, I don't think those are the only two options. I think it is big enough that the two of you can't just carry it.
Okay, then I don't
Yeah,
really
we
see
can't
why
do it.
we did this whole thing.
So
I don't
how are
like
we?
this. How do we get it out of here? Yeah,
Like, is it something Graves could carry?
Maybe not by yourself.
Even Graves by himself. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's big. It's for a ship.
Hey, we have the hot dog cart. Wait, we have the hot dog cart.
We
yeah. But if
have
Graves
the
can't
hot
carry
dog
it, how do we
cart,
get it on the hot dog cart?
Yeah.
We should have thought about.
I mean,
that
it's just a
before we
question of
tried to do
ease. It
this.
sounds like carrying it is going to be enough of a challenge that Justin will have me roll and may assign a certain degree of difficulty.
Here's my
so,
thing. Yeah, here's my thing too. I mean, Gears definitely would have known how big this thing is,
yeah.
and I think
Yeah,
it
we would've
definitely
told you
roughly as a group, like we're
Which-
approximately in the
I
same
mean,
area.
Gears also said that he could rebuild it. We like so this doesn't feel.
Which also means that if Gears
Necessary.
told you, you would have planned for this. You would have known
Hmm.
that it was too big for you to carry, which means you have something that you planned for to get it out.
It's true. That's true.
We sure
Okay.
did, guys. We know.
So when the door opens,
That's gonna be fine.
how many other guards are on this level, and how many have all the other guards that would have been on this level left to address the alarms and the
I
explosions?
do like that. I do like that the guards are on the first
Mhm.
floor now.
Okay.
Yep.
when the door opens, as they are making their way in, before the door closes behind them, Barrick will wink at Havoc again and grab the door so it doesn't shut behind them.
All right. And I'm shoot.
Doctor, and I will pull out my pistol as well and just.
Okay. All right.
Oh, you're pulling them up. Havoc starts shooting.
Yeah, let's start shooting.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. Okay, cool.
Let's
Yeah,
get
okay.
it.
Excellent. What's happening?
Let's get a 2-person group action.
Cool. Do you want to lead it or do you want me to lead it?
Well, scrap makes sense.
Yeah, I think scrap makes sense.
I have 3 stresses spared. Do you want to lead?
I've got more stress. Yeah, you've got better scrap, but I've got more stress. So let's
Okay.
I'll lead it.
Okay.
Let's say risky standard.
Cool. Let's use a gambit.
Heck yeah.
Okay. So I'll take the dice for the gambit. So each of us is rolling 2.
Yes.
Not a crit, but not bad.
1-6.
Okay, cool. I got double 5s. So
Nice.
Okay, so 1-6. You did spend a gambit,
yes.
but I think you still get to add 1, even if you spend a gambit.
Yep.
We get game at 6s? I feel like I haven't played this game in so long, but we play it every other
Risky 6s you do.
Yeah. When you
6s
roll
and
a
crits.
6,
Yeah,
when you
6s
yeah.
and crits, you get risky gambit.
Yeah, sorry, gambit.
They turn around, and then their bodies collapse to the ground. This also is the biggest. As their bodies collapse, you get like a better look at like what's on here. There are right. These are ship parts. They're going to be big. So, you've got the experimental hyperdrive. There's also a. It just looks like not a cannon, but like a lance, essentially. And there are like these hoops that go down. And you saw that this is a directed energy ship cannon called a Star Lance.
Ooh.
It's just like an energy cannon.
Yeah.
And then there's also a very large, like almost looks more like a sonar dish. And on the plaque outside, this is called the Ethereum Shield Phaser. Basically, lets you it attunes your weapons to a shield and lets them phase through, but stops your opponents from having, it keeps your shields up, so you don't have to lower your shields to fire.
Yeah. Are we able to do flashbacks for something within the job?
Yes.
Could we say?
That's basically what mine was.
I was gonna say, can we do a flashback and say that in the intermittent times when we haven't had the camera on them, Gears and Graves have been cutting a hole in the roof to be able to have access directly to the 3rd floor?
I love it. I do love it.
I was going to ask for
I
some
do-
simultaneous action, but just didn't want to pull the camera away. So yeah,
I do think that's an action, and that's one I'm not even gonna. I think there's an action in there for sure.
I don't think he has to do a flashback for us to be doing that. So we could just roll our action. right?
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Like, you
also
can just say
flashbacks
that.
can sometimes just be actions instead of marking stress as well. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like in this case, it's a flashback to what Graves and Gears were doing while you were doing this. Because again, you've all planned for this. You know that those ship parts were too big to just
We're
carry.
professionals.
We do have an idea
Yeah.
for how we address the ship parts specifically, but
That's perfect.
it requires, I think, over the comms, I'm like, Graves, is that hole ready? You guys should get down here.
Yep, just about.
All right. I would love to hear from Graves and Gears what they were, how they were opening this hole.
It's just a classic heist drop. I love it so much.
I know. So for me, I'll put this to you, Justin. Vibroblade says it can cut through, quote, almost any material. Do you think
Sure.
that's good enough? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Vibroblade it is then, and so Graves is the one cutting the hole, and Gears is kind of setting up a little bit like a temporary rig bot mechanism to sort of like
Yep.
plunge and then lift the
and
cut
then lift
section.
it up.
Nice.
Love it. Love it. Love it. What's the roll? Sorry.
Cut at an angle so that you could put the piece back and it will just sit
Oh,
where it
yeah,
is.
baby. Yeah, let's add that detail. I love that.
What was the action?
I think the action is rig.
Okay. I'm gonna say risky,
Okay.
but we'll say standard effect.
Okay. Risky standard. I would be happy with a standard effect. I think that I will. Trying to just think through any other options. How about a devil's bargain, Justin?
Yeah, the devil's bargain. Devil's bargain is that you'll make this hole. But I think the commotion will alert the guards and they'll start making their way to the roof.
Oof. Pass.
Yeah, I was gonna
Pass,
say
pass,
maybe.
pass.
Yeah, that's a little too risky, I think, for where we are.
What do we have for gambit?
We got 2. You can use one.
All right, I will use a gambit
This is the
because I
right
don't
time.
want to just go with 2 dice.
Barrack
This is
in our party
key.
now. Gambit is expendable.
Thank you, Barrack. Yeah, I think 3 dice will have to do. 6 it is.
6 it is, so you do it. I don't think you get to add a gambit, but
No, yeah.
yeah, it's just Barrick that does that. Cool. So then, yeah, I think, yeah, you open up this hole and you look down and you see that just at that time, Havoc and Barrick have taken out the 2 scientists and have walked into and are looking up to see you guys looking down on them from the hole.
Yeah, and then the actual flashback piece that I think would that we would have planned for is that Gears took the hover engines off of those 2 gurneys that we had,
Yep.
the 2 hover gurneys, and
Yay.
repurposed them with magnets so that we could attach them to the hyperdrive. And even if Graves still has to do some lifting, it makes it
Yeah.
essentially
That's what I was
manageable.
thinking. Of somehow
Yep.
using those gurneys. That's
I love it. I
Better than
love
the
it.
hot dog cart. I'll give you that, Johnny.
I do think Gears. We're gonna have to
Hey,
mark
go
a
on.
stress on Gears to do
I
that.
think that Nick would find that acceptable.
Yeah,
I hope so.
but I approve of that flashback. So you have the gurneys on the roof now, and you're lowering them down.
No, like we took off the hover mechanisms, so like we knew whoever was going into the building would just have the hover mechanisms ready to attach to the
hyperdrive.
To the hyperdrive. Yeah.
I understand. I love it. That's so smart. That's so cool. So yeah, you come down Graves and can see that they're like attaching the hover drives to.
and to aid in it a little bit, I'll tie some rope around it and toss Graves the grappling hook.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Nice.
so he's
Just
just
to
gonna
aid
lift
in
up.
the lifting
Perfect.
up. I'm guessing
Perfect.
that's why you're going to the Shawnee, right? It's just gonna
that works too. I was thinking that it would
Okay.
just make it like light, but it actually would make sense too that it would make it light enough that you and I can push it into position, and then also makes it light enough that Gears or Graves can pull it up.
Yeah.
Because just pull it up. I love that. Okay. Now I want to ask this. Do you want to sort of split these hover mechanisms and try and grab 2 of these ship parts? That might make it a
wanna
little
grab
bit
some more of the ship
harder.
I want to try and grab
For
that lance
Graves?
real bad.
I know.
So here's what I'll say, right? Like that won't make it as light. So it might put a little bit more strain on Graves, like pulling these things.
Yours is up there.
But you know, with the great
I
risk
guess
comes
in
great
that-
I
reward.
am a strong boy.
In the moment, like over the comms, like Graves, would you rather have this be easy peasy, or would you rather have a really cool lance for the front of the ship?
And here's also what would Gears say to this as well?
Gears 100% wants
Give me that
lance.
lance.
Yeah,
I want
I
the
can
lance.
hear-
Yeah.
I can hear
I
Gears.
want it.
Get the lance.
Get the lance. Oh, goodness. All right, fine.
Havoc does a little like fist bump to himself. Yes.
Quiet fist bump. Quiet victory. Loud victory later.
Okay, Graves, I'm gonna need a roll then.
Yes. Yeah. I just want to say, Justin, I'm just going to call this out in advance the first time. This seems to me like addressing a tough challenge with force. So anyway,
I mean,
I-
you're solely relying on Graves' strength. for
I
this.
have to just freaking lift this
Yeah,
out.
I
All
hear
right. Yeah. Oof. I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that this is scramble.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I
do I have
dig
to
it.
specify anything else? I'm just trying to pull a cable, correct?
No. Yeah, but now I'm gonna treat both of them, right? It's pulling both of them up at this point instead of just one, and that helps me.
We're gonna
change
lump
the
it together.
position effect. Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I think that's the
Nice.
easiest to do.
Great.
Hey, can I throw something out there? This might add a complication, which could be good in terms of if things go poorly for Graves here. But I think it would probably make sense for Havoc and Barrick at this point to dip back down and grab the other things that we stashed,
Mhm.
I think
so that we're getting everything out of the building at once.
Yeah.
Like once
this is
Graves
a good
starts pulling
time.
it up, like give him a thumbs up.
Yeah,
We're gonna get
And
out of
then
here.
and then we yeah. As we start running away, Barrick smacks Havoc's ass and splits off.
Blushes.
Appropriate.
His
good.
face is red, not with
Yeah.
anger.
Graves. I think this is desperate, and I think we'll say limited.
Okay.
In other words, it's gonna
Limited, so if
take
I
you
suc-
some.
Yeah,
It's gonna take you some time to get this up. It's not just gonna be.
I see.
quick.
So even if I keep that effect, it could be a quote unquote success. It would just be a slow success that has attendant
Correct.
risks.
Correct, and that's why I wanted to check. Are you just pulling up the one thing, or are you pulling up both things?
Mm-hmm. Desperate limited, so I can't trade down. This is a scramble.
But if you have, I don't know where your
I have
your
stress
stress
to
is,
use.
but you could push
Yep.
push yourself to increase the effect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to use Unstoppable. It's been a while because I've been very miserly with using my stress since I have 3 trauma and was close to it previously.
Sure.
So you push yourself to do one of the following: perform a feat of physical force that verges on the superhuman. That's the one I'm choosing.
Yep.
If I just do that, does that alter a roll, or should I have done that outside of a roll?
Let me just double check. I'm wondering that as well. If
Because
it
it is
just
its
gets
own
rid of the
ability.
need for a roll,
Like,
it might
that would
just
be
get
awesome.
it might just get rid of the need for the roll.
Okay.
That would be very cool.
Because this
That
seems like
would-
one of those moments
would
where,
be pretty cool.
just kind of like get it done.
I think
Pay for it later.
Yeah, obviously
you still
Justin
have-
have differently, but I would read that as like a kind of an
You just do
auto.
it.
well, because the problem is you only ever push yourself in a roll.
I think that.
But I
says
guess
that-
it's just
I
saying
think
like
that-
you
I think this
mark
move
up
is
the
basically
cheat.
saying he's trading the pushing himself and getting the stress for the ability to just do the thing.
perform
Well,
a
'cause-
superhuman-
So here's why you could read it not that way, right? Like there's no world in which Havoc would be able to pull up these two things. Right? So like that would be no effect.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even give Havoc. I would, if Havoc wanted to roll, I'll let him roll, but like there's literally no effect that Havoc has on this.
Yeah, I guess
Where
like,
it's like
but
the
great,
pushing yourself and doing a feat of physical force that verges on the superhuman gives Graves even the opportunity to do something like this.
right, but he's already stronger than a human. So like, what does verges on a superhuman look like for someone who's already that much
Yeah.
stronger? Not to mention, like, I don't want to belabor it, but like with Praxis, with my side dancing, like that specifically called out that when I'm swaying, so like that implies the roll because
Sure.
I have to sway
Sure.
to do it. Versus when I push within that same move, if I push myself to make sure that people don't remember it clearly, it's not an additional roll to stop them from remembering, even though I am pushing myself as a separate part of the move.
This specific situation has been talked about on Scum and Villainy, or the Blades in the Dark
Oh.
rather, subreddit.
Helpful.
People have explained it in a way where it ranges. It depends, right? If it's a insane superhuman thing, like just as an insane example, say like Graves wants to just brute
Punch
force
down a building.
hammer his way to the core of the earth or punch down a building. Then yeah, maybe there's
Sure.
a roll there. Or they're
Hmm.
all saying if the result is kind of uncertain, make there be a roll there. But this, I feel like this, me personally, this seems
Yeah,
like such a
yeah.
simple thing.
I'm
He's just
convinced. I'm convinced. Just mark the fatigue. Or
Yeah,
mark the stress. And
Yeah.
you could just pull it up.
heck yeah.
Oof.
Mark the stress, you can pull it up.
'Cause it's also really nice. There's just
Unstoppable.
one less thing to go wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I pull them up, and so we've got both the lance and a hyperdrive on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we need a ship pickup.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and that may be a flashback that I could do or have Gears do. But
I mean, maybe we could even lump that in with the thing I paid the guy for painting the ship and meeting us at a certain time.
I think then that would be a once. Did I make you mark a stress for that already?
Yes, you did.
for the paint.
I think to get a pickup, I'm gonna have you mark an extra stress then.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Oh,
Alrighty.
That's a 2 stress flashback.
Yeah. I've got the stress to spare and no trauma. So
I
Look at you.
think
and you care?
I think there's just one last obstacle to get past, which is that Barrick and Havoc. Havoc, you're pushing a hot dog cart.
He's running with it at this point.
Yeah, Barrick, you're down to the first floor as well too. The rest of the guards are down there as well too, and they see you and they're like, "What is happening? Were you guys up at the? Where's Dr. Norris and Dr. Ardell?
someone killed them. We don't know who did it. We don't know how they did it. Somebody go. What? I don't know what's going on.
Havoc there already because I said you can at this point can Havoc be running down with the hot dog cart.
I mean, I think they definitely see you with the hot dog cart. That's why they're very confused. Like, what is happening? What are you supposed? Why do you have a hot dog cart?
This Havoc
Barrick, I
couldn't
need
have
to-
stopped.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that me being honest
Okay,
about
okay.
the fact that they are dead
Mhm.
will make
Yeah.
things make things
Even more
chaotic enough
chaotic.
that we can
I'm
kind
with
of just
Yep, I'm with you. Give me an action roll.
sway for sure.
That's so fair. Is it?
I love this dialogue.
desperate?
I don't know what's happening.
Feels a little desperate to me.
Yeah, it feels pretty desperate to me too.
Trying to help things
Okay,
now. Havoc's
alright.
gonna say the doctor's dead. The world is burning. I love hot dogs.
But every man for himself. Get as many hot dogs as you can eat. I think desperate standard.
Okay.
I'm this guy in the middle of apocalypse whose only goal is to just eat as many hot dogs as possible.
I am going to push myself to increase the effect.
Okay. Okay. So I said, so desperate, great,
Yeah. And I got 1/6.
great.
Oh, that gives us another gambit because I get gambit.
The
on desperate.
guards will be like, "What are you talking about? Everyone up there now!" And they just, without even watching what you do, run past you and run upstairs to the 3rd floor. And I will
Oh,
say
that makes
you
me
guys
so
are-
happy.
You're able to get out.
Cool.
You get to the roof,
Hmm.
you get your pickup, and you fly off.
And our ship shows up in red,
No, it is an
gold.
ostentatious gold with the words "Golden Sun" written in huge
Nice.
red letters on the side.
Couldn't you have painted it after this? Just this somewhat discreet
If it's
mission.
okay with you, Justin, I also would like to
Yeah.
add. I know we can do the VIN cleaning thing, but I think it would be like a simple thing, as simple as painting, to just change the call sign in the system to Golden Sun. Like I've renamed the ship.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You can totally do that.
And the funny thing is, I feel like yours wouldn't care.
Well,
Not
we'll
my
see.
ship.
Maybe we'll find out.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I know.
But I think you guys speed away, having successfully completed the job.
My goodness.
that
With
was-
some solid loot too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
incredible.
that was as classic of a heist job I think that we've done so far in the show. Maybe I
was
might
It
pretty
was
just
almost
be.
as classic as
Yes.
One Last Job.
Yeah,
I do. I will say, while there wasn't a monetary like cred payout with this job because you were doing this for yourselves, I mean, you guys picked up some sweet stuff. Maybe you can find someone to buy that. You know, like
I know this is
can
so
definitely make some
sellable if we
cred.
don't use it.
credit
Yeah.
off of some of this stuff for sure. Nice job, y'all. I
Awesome.
think I'm trying to decide if we want to do some of the downtime stuff.
We have time for some.
Yeah, let's
stuff.
do some of it.
Or
We've
start it,
got a
yeah.
little bit of time. Yeah, we got a little bit of time. So there isn't any immediate payoff unless you guys want to, you know, spend some free play and find someone to like buy some.
Yeah,
of that
acquire
stuff.
assets, decide to sell some of it.
Yeah. But let's definitely do the upkeep. Now you did skip the last one. Normally Gears kind of makes this decision. Do you want to skip another job? Otherwise you're paying 2 cred.
This is funny. I haven't
I'll pay
paid
the
any
cred,
attention.
Or I'll
to the
pay.
mechanics.
Or if we want to, either I can pay all the cred, or me and someone else can split 1 cred each to do the ship upkeep.
Yeah, I could chip in.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty. Mark
All right,
that.
let's look at heat.
Whew. I
Oh,
avoided using Zarathustra to escape the building. I was tempted because it's made of
did.
glass.
You guys did some of your best work here, I
Yeah,
think.
although we definitely
Uh,
murdered hegemonic citizens.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's
To
kind
be
of
fair, though, that was less cruel in the end than what I envisioned, which was kidnapping this expert on warp drives and just making her work for us forever.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
I thought about kidnapping. I'm not gonna lie, it did cross my mind.
It's
But
like she seems very helpful.
that would have been really interesting too. I mean, Gears
President of the
Gears might have
Academy.
some-
Yeah,
some
Gears might have had
A
thoughts.
little-
I don't know
little
that my
soccer
mind was
program.
going in the work for us forever direction so much as the ransom and make this job worth cred direction.
Oh.
Sure. That could have worked. That could have worked as well too.
Playing to our
Yeah, it's-
Cerberus ship.
It's super interesting. I think if we ever played Blades in the Dark, I would be much more like I would
would
force
love
you
to
guys to
play.
be more in the lore because like everyone knows you don't kill people because that draws ghosts and ghosts will take everybody out immediately. And
Mhm.
like so there's this very much like in game reason that you have to find some way to get
Avoid
rid of
killing
this
people.
without killing people. And in this, like the only you know what I mean, like
yeah.
well, you get heat in that as well too, but there isn't that extra narrative reason
Yeah.
in Scum and Villainy of like, all
It'd
right,
be real
so you
fun
just-
to play just classic
killed
Blades in the Dark.
Yeah.
It would be fun. It'd be very fun too sometime. Anyway, I think to start, I think I'm leaning towards smooth and quiet, low exposure.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the only
think-
argument I would have against it, I'm constantly playing against my fellow players here, would be the
good.
explosions that Havoc caused. But I think even so,
I think that still counts as low exposure. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I don't.
because
think
it was to
that's
draw less
quite-
attention to us. You know.
I think the only two things that I'm like that is definitely there, and then I think they saw Barrick's face, and eventually they might be able to be like, hey, wait, I think I
Mhm.
saw someone that looked like him in a guard uniform as well too. But that
Mhm.
still feels very low exposure to me.
And you already have a
not-
mechanic in place for that as well, for them seeing his face. And so
Yeah, so I'm gonna say low exposure,
Heck.
but I don't think it's quite high profile or well connected. No, but you did kill hegemonic citizens, quite a few of them. So
Yeah, I guess we
Definitely.
did.
definitely 2 heat there. So 3 heat total, which is going to technically give you a wanted level here in the core worlds.
Oh, nice. Didn't take us long.
I did everywhere.
It took you 2 jobs. It took you two single jobs.
Get us cooking, there's gonna be heat, you know?
Let's roll entanglements and see what we get. Interesting.
So entanglements is always rolled after we do heat.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, fun.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, I'm just trying to think about what this would look like.
We wake up. It was all a dream.
So I rolled reprisals, which is an enemy faction moves against you or yours, which I think is the one I rolled before you guys left.
I
Pros
think
and
so.
technicals
Yeah.
too.
The one like right.
You guys have made quite a few enemies.
Everybody loves us.
You know what it
In
is?
Church of the Stellar Flame, Isotropic Max Secure, House Malcleath, Cult of the Seekers, Concordiate Knights, the Maelstrom, and Vorex.
Yeah, that's not that many people.
That's only like a third. No, just kidding. It's not quite.
I think that you guys are in a bounty hunting ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get a notification that a wanted poster is going to go out for all of you, minus Barrick, because he's not totally connected to the group yet. And maybe Gears does some hacking and realizes that this was put out by Vorex. You know, like usually through a couple filters, so you have to like hunt through like this person's connected to and this person's over
So
here.
it's like less a wanted poster, more like a hit on our heads, basically.
It's essentially like a hit, but in the guise of a wanted poster, essentially. Yeah, done by Vorex. So your options are to essentially pay a cred, pay them a cred, pay Vorex a cred per tier. In this case, I'm gonna flavor it and say you're gonna like basically pay a cred per tier to get yourselves taken off of the wanted. Right? You just pay the bounty hunting system.
Bribing, basically. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're bribing. Yep.
Per hour
now
tier?
you can. I believe it is per year tier. Let me double check.
That's easy.
per
That's
their
one
tier.
cred, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just double check because that's a big difference. Pay them one cred per tier. It doesn't say.
Because I can see it making sense that it would be the factions tier.
It would be the
Yeah,
factions tier. That's kind of what I would lean towards.
Yeah, I feel like because it kind of makes more sense actually. I think in my head for it to be the factions tier. than
Yeah.
ours. What tier is Vorex?
Vorex, I believe, is 4.
Okay, well let's just pay all 4 of the ship's cred then. It hurts, but I think it's better
It's
than
4 for the crew, correct?
Not for each.
For
That'd
all
be
of
insane.
you. Yeah, no. 4
Okay.
total. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's like let's get some of us off of this list.
Yeah, no.
You
I'll
can leave me on the list. Bring it on.
Yeah, just 4 cure in total. Your other options would have been to let them mess with you like this, or to fight back somehow. Maybe could have seen the repercussions of that
We have the
next
cred
time.
to spare, you know?
But if you got the cred, spend the cred.
Yeah. I think I'm
I
better
think-
prepared for that than for more enemies right now. We don't want possible friction.
I want to make sure I'm not doing something wrong just because Nick is usually the one who handles the ship sheet. But I cleared, we had one skip checked for upkeep, but we paid for upkeep, so I unchecked that skip. Is that
is correct?
Okay.
Yes. Yep. That is correct.
It's funny how little I know of any of the mechanics for the ships.
we rely so heavily on Nick to know everything about the ship.
Yeah, Nick's the ship person for sure.
He's our real life engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've got some time. Do you think we could do maybe at least PC and crew advancement now?
Yeah.
And we can save some
Sure.
time for
Yeah.
after.
Also,
Lovely.
He's
I
gonna
just wanna
remember to do next time.
throw a little flavor thing. If you guys you wouldn't have noticed it in the extraction because too much was going on. But if at any point you get a moment to look closer at the side of the ship, you realize that in a smaller font, it says Barrack Souls Golden Sun on the side
Oh
of
my god.
Who is this guy?
Asshole. All right.
All right,
do we
guys,
think
stealth
that-
mission. Hey, I painted the ship gold. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Put my name on it. Do we think Gears address the challenge with technical skill or ingenuity?
I think so.
I think so.
I think so.
I agree.
I don't know that we did enough with Gears to give him the double. So
I
single
think just the
probably.
one.
I think what we should do is we should tell Nick after we do his question, we should tell him how much advances he got. That way he can choose where he puts them.
Sure, that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll just make a note somewhere.
Never.
Never.
I don't even see where do you guys put advancements?
You mean playbook?
Oh,
We have a
Playbook, there it is.
playbook, or
I
we
see
have
it.
our
I see it right there.
yeah.
Or okay, that's what I was missing. Okay.
this is
Graves.
the first time looking at our character sheets.
Did you
I am Graves.
did you address challenge with force or threat?
I did.
For sure you did. For sure you did. Are
Yeah.
you making the argument for 2?
I was hoping I would feel in a position, but I don't think I am in a position. I think even though I executed well, the attacks were nothing characteristic of the muscle or
I think so.
extraordinary.
Yeah. I'm
So,
with you. I think
My,
definitely
my
one
true
for
big
sure.
moment was the one I called out already.
1 for sure. All right. Havoc, did you address a challenge with speed or flair?
Yes, I think only one actually makes sense. So, because I think of the sprinting across the open space to hide the
Mhm,
thing in the hot
mhm.
dog cart, and also the way he handled the guard on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Maybe you could
Sure.
argue for him using the detonators on the parking garage as being kind of with flair.
Are you making that argument?
I'm making that argument, yeah. So that'd
hear
be
your
3.
argument.
That'd be 3 at
I hear
least.
your argument, and I count 3, and I think that meets the requirements for multiple times.
Something's going on with your XLR, Justin. You're a little crackly.
Like, kind of. How about that? Is that something?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Cool.
Yeah, that's better.
Ooh.
Ugh. It's been like loose. I don't know why it's loose.
Yeah, I think it might be the fat head, but
It's definitely the fat head.
Yeah, when in doubt, just call something a fat head.
I agree.
no, we can look at it. We can look at it later. Might be time for you to
Barrick.
be a lifter instead.
Oh yeah, it might be. Barrick, did you address the challenge with charm or audacity?
I think so.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. For sure you did.
What an audacious heist.
I feel like I could make an argument for multiple times, but I don't know if I could make a reasonable argument for multiple XP for multiple times. So
Then I would just give you the 1.
Hey guys, we just need a coffee break. Hey guys, we have hot dogs. Someone got murdered.
Does it mean Barrick?
let's say like I did the coffee break. I went up to a group of
Yeah.
guards and was like, hey, why don't we bet on you telling me how to get into your place of work to show me where
Yeah.
this valuable thing is.
Yeah.
Hey guys, why don't we just hey, look over here, shoot.
I mean, this was kind of cool for Barrick
Yeah,
because he's a newest member. He just joined, but he was able to sort of like he really kind of took the lead on this mission, and I think it was sort of for Havoc, Gears and Graves. That's sort of their thing. Like, all right, this guy can stick around. Like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know.
He's proved himself. I am with you, Johnny. You did it a lot. I don't know if they were like XP worthy, but I definitely think you get the 1 for sure. It was like I think maybe like one instance away of getting 2. I think if you had done it like one more time, it would have been enough.
Yeah.
But
I feel like if we had kept the scientists alive, then it would have given Barrick maybe more
Yes.
opportunities.
yeah, maybe.
But
All right. Did you express your beliefs, Dry's heritage, or background?
Yeah.
no for Havoc. I think no for
Yeah.
Havoc.
You don't think like zeroing in on the memory thing counts? Feels important to have.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. You think that's enough for
I think so.
1 XP?
I think so.
Because that was very.
Because you could have
So I
left
was like, I
it,
didn't want that.
right? You could have made the job much easier and not taken it.
I think he would have left it if some things that happened in the past hadn't happened.
Do we think Graves or Gears got it? It's kind of hard. We didn't really do a whole
It's
lot.
kind of hard because we, with Nick not being here, we sort of avoided RPing as Gears too
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hard to make an argument for it with the way that we kind of
Mhm.
handled Gears.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. That's fine. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
I think so. I think Havoc did.
I did not.
I definitely did for sure.
I definitely did not either.
I think Havoc was.
stable.
He was. It's so nice having the reckless trauma because
I used my vice to our advantage.
That's right.
Did. It wasn't a struggle though.
But it could have gone so much worse. So
Yeah.
there was a chance that it
If that was a
could
bad roll, that would have been a yes,
Yep.
but it was a good
Yeah.
roll. So
All right. Anybody get any playbook advancements?
No.
Most of you guys are
I
pretty far.
did.
I put all the XP I got into playbook because I want to go one next. But
Oh, Graves did, huh?
Yeah.
What are you taking? You're gonna grab a veteran ability from another playbook, maybe?
I think I have to shop around, but yeah, I will. I'll
Okay.
let you know
All
at the
right,
top of the
you shop
episode.
around. Let us know. Let's move on then to crew advancement. Did you successfully execute what is it? Bounty hunting. What is it?
extraction operation or capture of a bounty.
Extraction operation or
Is
capture of a
extraction
bounty?
operation specifically like a person?
I think it
I
is.
think so. I think
Unfortunately.
so.
Unfortunately.
yeah.
Otherwise, we're just
So-
back in the smuggling category.
Yep.
True, you're right. Yep, that was the last one that we had. Okay, so no, then
Yeah, we haven't been doing a lot of abductions, and I kind of like that about us, to be honest. But our ship is sort of shifting my moral compass. There's an incentive here.
a little bit.
A little
Well,
bit.
I'm trying to figure it out because I don't want to. It's nothing about the ship itself, right?
Mhm.
It's that I don't know. We might go back and play around with it. I might ask the Star Dancer question because your crew,
Yeah, we
smugglers,
are.
but
You
your
still do the
ship
bounty.
is a Cerberus ship. So I might be like, maybe I'll ask the Star Dancer questions, but when you get crew upgrades, you have to look at the Cerberus
Mhm.
Maybe.
or something
That
like
could
That
that.
could work. That could be a way to cut it.
Or
Yeah.
or maybe maybe it's a long-term project to like turn the tweak some things in the ship to make it more smuggling friendly. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Did you contend with challenges above your current station?
Yes.
Tier wise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that reflected in the job? Yeah.
More limited
Yeah.
effect type of things. Yeah.
Yeah. All
I
right.
think so.
I
mean,
hear
there's
you.
a specific moment where you said
You called out the
Someone-
fine hacking ring
Otherwise-
versus the tech.
despite, the
Yeah,
fact
yeah.
that- despite it being a fun hack, it's still hard. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll. Excuse me.
Is someone marking the XP on the ship as we're getting these?
I was not.
I wasn't either. How many did we just say yes to?
We said no to the first one and yes to one, so just one.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'll mark it.
Thank
Oh, you
you.
marked
Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one?
That was a
I
very professional.
think, yeah, our professional reputation. You could not have asked for more professional handling of that.
That's
job.
true.
I think that was
It's
pretty
true.
This is
daring,
actually
too,
a-
yes.
This is a question. Like, since we didn't do that job for anyone but ourselves,
That's what I was going to
we're
bring
not
up. That's the
reporting this to
only-
anybody.
yeah.
Well,
There's no
hang on.
clientele that
Just
Yeah.
because we're not telling a client about the job doesn't mean we're not reporting it to anybody.
you want to
Eric's
let
gonna
this.
talk about this for
yeah.
sure.
You're gonna leak this baby strategically. Oh, you know who did that? Us.
Yeah, and just because there's not a client that paid us doesn't mean that everyone we talk to needs to know that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I hear you. I will let you
We
take
did
it.
this one for Vorex.
I think it makes sense too, because like it's the criminal underworld. Like the job would get out, even if they might not
Word-
know who it is.
Word gets around.
I got you.
Word
It's
would get
helpful.
around, and then eventually you might say something, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that was your guys' crew."
Yeah.
Crazy.
Heck yeah.
Um,
So we get one
Give me a
XP for
free drink. Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Take an XP for that, and then so I think you're at 6 in total now. Did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew?
Yeah. I mean, this was well in line with our.
Sure.
that? Yeah.
It's like
I think
this
about
is a
each-
classic.
I think about each time
Classic
Havoc and
Montrester.
Derek are just like, we're stealing these things.
Yeah.
They saw these things like, oh, we're taking that. We're taking that.
Classic Montresor
Hey,
heist.
Too soon.
Too soon.
I think that's going to bring you guys up to 7. You guys are 1 crew XP away from
Mhm.
new advancement.
Very exciting.
I think that's it. I think we'll have to find out what happens next week.
Nice
It's gonna
going.
be crazy.
Goldilocks.
It's gonna be crazy. And I
That was a
think it might be
fantastic
time to head back to the Procyon sector, yeah?
Mm.
Maybe.
Got the
We'll see. I'll
hyperdrive.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see what you guys do. We'll see what you do. Well, thanks for playing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you all around. You were the best. I'm talking to you, the listener.
Yeah.
You're the best.
You.
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 You. No.
All
You.
right. We'll see.
No.
Wait.
You.
All right. See you next week. Bye.
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 You.